Inside Stone's Gambling Hall in Sacramento, California, you'll find Sammy's Restaurant and Bar. Recognized for its innovative, healthy global cuisine, Sammy's offers menu selections made with local, organic ingredients. Indulgent options like truffle fries, duck tacos, artisan wood-fired pizzas, fresh salads, and more, along with an eclectic selection of craft beers and classic handcrafted cocktails. Plus, with 40 big screen TVs, Sammy's is also the perfect place to catch your favorite game. Satisfy your craving anytime, 24/7, tableside or in the dining room at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar at Stone's Gambling Hall.
Makeup, am I good?
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more makeup than what we gave you. Hello everyone, I'm Justin Karitis. This is Mr. Kyle Kitagawa, the Cali Kid himself, joining us here in the booth. Now, first thing everyone is gonna want to know is why are you here in the Stones Live booth and not over there at the final table? What happened?
Well, you guys told me that I was going to be commentating this one.
That's
so
right.
Why would I play it when I know I'm going to win the tournament?
That's a good point.
And if I can't be at both spots, Justin, I can't do it both.
It's like time travel. Look, over there on the table, I'm there right now. See? I can be in two spots. If I can do it, you could do it.
How did you do that?
It's amazing,
we could
isn't
make
it?
so much money if we could just like figure out how that works, because
I would totally be at the final table right now if I played this tournament, Justin, but...
I believe it. I believe you. Yeah, you've never lied to me before.
I'm not a liar. I'm just a poker player. I bluff,
Fair.
but I don't lie.
Fair. All right, so this is not your first time in the booth. At the very beginning of Stones Live, when we still didn't have lights or microphones, and we were doing this in a cave somewhere,
in a cave,
you actually participated and were a commentator on the stream. So this is kind of like a reunion for you.
Kind of.
We're excited to have you here. Also, kind of like your audition. If this goes good, who knows? Maybe it becomes a regular thing. If not, I mean, I'm sure you could go comment on some other show.
On some other show? What? That's funny.
Guys, this is the
this is the show.
This is the one.
For you guys watching, you guys know this is the show. I mean, to be honest, I talked with Bob. You guys probably don't even know who Bob is.
Most of them do.
He's the backstage guy. He basically runs the show here. He does all the technical stuff. Yeah. He's awesome. He's amazing. And you know, we don't give enough credit for him. You guys have come a long way. You guys.
He's really working this audition hard. This is good. Hey, let's talk about this game. We have the final 9 players out of 126 players for a $350 buy-in. This month is the Stones' last Sunday, because it's technically not the last Sunday. Last Sunday fell on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do this on Christmas Day because we have families and friends and stuff like that. Yeah. So today we did that, and 126 players, just 3 players short of hitting that 40K guarantee, so there was close to $1,000 added to this prize pool, which is great. And you can see there the prize pool is 350 short of 40K because we pull the next 350 seed out of the prize pool to award to first place tonight. Okay,
you know, if you let me play today, then the guarantee would have been met. But
good point, because you would have bought it 3 times.
Yeah, it would probably have been about 600 over.
Awesome. We're going to jump down to the table real quick and introduce the players. We're about to get the cards in the air. So starting right there in seat 1, Stones regular, that is San. We got Sasha up there, but I promise you that is San. 98K, and remember, more Ks are better. Ks are good. You want to go ahead and introduce seat 2?
Ks are good, Kyle. Ks are good for Kyle.
Seat 2 is Michael, also no photo from Michael, 276,000. Our chip leader in seat 3, also the winner for our 10K guarantee yesterday, won it outright, no chop. That's George. He's on fire, coming to this last Sunday as a chip leader, and not to mention, yesterday he won his seat for today for free. So he didn't even buy in.
Wow, that's free roll. That's positive
nice,
EV.
right? Victor in seat 4, not too far behind Georgia, 361,000. That's Terry in seat 5, 186,000. Nice picture, awesome. I know. Christopherson, seat 6, 85,000. That's not Chris Christopherson. It's just that's his whole first name. It's a big first name. Yeah, it barely fit in the screen. A regular to the stream in our cash games and final tables. Casey there in seat 7, sitting on 59K. He is our short stack, but as you know, in tournaments, doesn't necessarily mean anything. Dr. Art T in seat 8. Art. He is a dentist. He might be able to help you if you have any problems. Art with 119,000.
So say that.
You need a dentist right now? Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Last but most certainly not least, seat number 9, our resident house pro, Mr. Sean Drake himself at another final table, looking to add yet another victory to his bed notch belt. What do you say?
Drake is obviously the favorite, I think, in my mind. I mean, he's definitely the favorite at this final table. Just look at his hand and mom.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He's a winner.
His biggest cash is over $500,000 cash.
Yeah, in the I think it was the Millionaire Maker a couple years ago, and he finished
I'm
third.
going with I think it was Monster Stack.
Monster Stack.
Yeah, it was the Monster Stack.
One of the two.
The Monster Stack was a third place finish, and he also took down the employee event a few years back as well.
Yeah, that was his first big score. I think that was the year before the Monster Stack.
So he's a tournament crusher for sure. Definitely one of the favorites at the table. And let's go ahead and get down to the action. Looks like we're 3 ways here. Pre-flop, what might be the second. I think we talked through the first hand.
We probably did.
I blame that on you.
Sorry. Did anyone get busted out? Nah.
Then we're okay. We're okay then.
We're good.
All right, let's see what happens here. Looks like we got a raise come in from the button. That's Michael on the button. George with ace queen and the small blind pulls some chips back. He's either setting up a perfect call or he might be cutting out a raise there.
Catch me up here. Where are the blinds at? Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I see it.
You got it. Okay. So the blinds are
4,000, 8,000, and there is a 1,000 ante.
So George has chosen to call here and play this pot out of position. Or am I mistaken? George raised.
3-bets it to 43,000 for the small blind. So I like that. I like that play. You know.
He just takes it down right there.
From the button's definitely going to be raising light here. You know, ace queen is probably ahead of his range, so it's a good 3-bet. And worst case scenario, if he calls you, you know, you at least have the lead going to the flop. But ace queen is likely the best hand here, so 3-bet makes sense.
I do want to just take a moment and say hello to everyone in the chat room, especially when we go live those first few minutes. You know who our real fans are by who's in there right away, because usually people take a while to go in. We got Are You Kidding Me, Flat Collar, Watt Free.
Are you kidding me?
What is that? Yeah, Are You Kidding Me? Reno Grinder.
What's up? I know him too.
Grab Her Booty Bro, very creative.
Oh, I don't know her, but
pretty sure that's a dude. Okay, so looks like we are heads up now on the next hand.
Small blind versus big blind.
C4 Victor.
10-9, definitely worth a raise.
Puts in 20K.
Jack 9 is probably going to call here. Definitely suited too.
I would play Jack 9
I
in position.
wouldn't raise here. I mean, you got a hand that flops with a lot of equity, and fortunately for him, he was actually dominating.
Yeah, he's crushing him.
So it looks like he calls, and oh, look at this.
Very interesting flop. Jack 9 flops open-ended, and 10-9 hits the top pair. Should be interesting here.
I don't think it's top. It's second pair, but an open-ended straight draw for Terry.
Deuce helps
did it
no
go
one.
check? I think it went check. So the 2 doesn't help anyone.
Actually, you can see on the flop.
Victor,
take a look.
I'd probably lead out here.
We have a pretty cool thing we've recently added. So you can see the flop action was a bet of 20K and a call of 20K.
Okay, so there was a bet.
And the good thing is our viewers can see this at home too, which is really cool. Something we've recently added, so you can keep track of all the previous streets on there. I love it.
I love it too. That actually is, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier. I did commentate early on when Stones Live first took off. Less than a year, about a year ago.
Wow! Look at that card.
Money card for Terry. He has the check mark.
He goes all in.
He goes all in. Yeah, he has 186K here, so
Lots of Ks, guys. Lots of Ks.
Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, I mean, Stones Live, you guys have come a long way.
There's been lots of upgrades.
You guys have to be real proud about what you have accomplished in 1 year.
Yeah, we definitely are. For sure.
No, you should be, because, I mean, I was here in the booth. It was probably one of the first 5 episodes ever. And, I mean, it's just so much easier to follow it as a commentator, you know. Technical issues are 100% better. And, you know, I was talking to Bob. I mentioned Bob. Bob deserves a lot of credit. You guys never see him on the stream. Like, he should definitely show his face one of these days.
No, we see him occasionally, like, if something's broken, and he'll pop in to fix it, and you'll see it, like, his long hair. Like,
but he's the dude. He's the man. He does this. He runs this show. Casey has Pocket Kings.
Wow. This
awesome.
is probably Casey's last hand. That's every time I get Pocket
knocking
Kings.
on wood for you, Casey. I'm knocking on wood for you, bro.
Yeah, that's not wood, unfortunately. Every time I get Pocket Kings in a tournament, I just look down and I go, oh, I'm on my way home.
You know, that's my favorite hand because it's my initials. Kyle Kitagawa.
Oh,
boom!
nice.
Winning.
So Casey does choose to go all in here, and with a 55,000 stack, I think that's really all that you can do.
Yeah. Less than 10 big blinds, so doesn't really have a choice. Unfortunately for him, I don't really see anyone calling him. Michael has the ace-9 and the hijack, but from under the gun open, it's, he folds. So Casey's is gonna pick up the blinds and the antes, but that's not that bad. I mean, right now the antes are 1,000, so that's 9,000 from
Better
the
than
antes.
getting called by ace-4 and getting snapped.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you know, you pick up another 12,000, so it's 21,000. That's about 40% of his stack.
And really, when you're playing in a tournament that short of a stack, I mean, tournament play becomes pretty easy, right? It's like you're either going all in or folding. You're picking spots to try and double up and get back in the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that how you play your short stack?
You just want chips.
I play a short stack really well because I get the most practice playing from the short stack. Yeah, because I have short chips.
Yeah.
Every time I'm in a tournament, short chips. All right, we got Terry with ace-king suited, and right now action is on San. Folding to Michael. Queen 6 is not going to play. George letting it go. And I think looks like our first player to open up is going to be
nobody
Terry.
has anything except for Terry, so he's on the button though. So I mean, I could see the blinds defending here. This is actually a pretty sweet spot to pick up ace king on the button when everyone folds to you, just because it's it's kind of disguised like you're gonna be opening on the button.
But it looks like you're just making a move,
huge
right?
range here.
Easy little pot for Terry.
But we'll see. Yeah, they're just a bunch of nits. They're just a bunch of nits. I mean, you know, the difference is though is you know, they are playing in a tournament. Every big blind matters. It's crucial. Totally different from like a cash game experience where everyone's playing 100 big blinds deep or more. So. Yeah,
not to mention that just scooping up a pot pre-flop with no one acting on it,
with the
every
antes,
single pot is 21,000 right now.
It's huge. Yeah.
So you look at someone like Casey, and he's almost picking up 50% of his stack just by scooping a pot.
It's brilliant play.
Ghost of M, welcome to the chat room. Appreciate you being here.
Sick part is that if he gets a call there, he's loving it. Almost always.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless it's like I said, unless it's ace-4, and then he knows he's done.
Yeah.
All right, looks like San's making his move here. San going in with ace-king offsuit. We like him offsuit because you get double the amount of flush draws. On over to seat number 6, Christofferson gonna let it go, and we're around to Art with 7-5.
We're just not deep enough to play 9-8 suited.
And now Sean, who opened the pot here with Queen 3, and he's gonna let it go. Sam scoops a pot, and with a little bonus in there.
I didn't see how much Sean opened for it.
Let's see if we can get the.
But either way, I mean, Queen 3.
I think I saw a yellow and a lavender chip. That might be 16 or so.
Yeah. Okay.
Queen 3. That's not that bad. Suited.
Under the gun. Under the gun. Sean. All right. Sean's actually a really good tournament player, though. He's one of the best in Sacramento.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. A lot of respect for this guy.
Okay, how about Sean Drake, JC Tran? How do they stack up?
I mean,
because those are the top two, right, for Sacramento?
To be honest, JC Tran is obviously one of the best players in the game, but he's. I don't want to discredit anyone here. Like, they're both really good players, but JC Tran's got the bankroll and the backers to play almost any tournament he wants to play in.
Right.
And I think Sean is more of a value hunter, where he looks for the tournaments that there's value, and he just hits them hard when he hits them. I mean,
yeah.
You look at his Hendon Mom. I mean, he played. The buy-ins that he's not playing 10Ks, he's not playing 5Ks, he's killing it on like the 16, the 2K, the 1K buy-ins.
Yeah.
Like killing it. And I played with him. He's a very good player. I've stacked him a couple of times, I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, let's see. We got some action going down here. Let's see. Let's see what happened here. I think I saw an all-in button fly out there. Did I not? Am I seeing
maybe
things?
from Stan from under. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see an all-in on the action tracker yet. We got Stan likes
his hand here. I mean, it's a pretty dry flop, 6-6-9.
Not a bad spot for Stan to bet, and if he gets Michael out of there, he's in really good shape.
The only thing he's really concerned about is 2 diamonds, I think. I mean, I missed it if there was a pre-flop raise here.
Oh, Michael's coming along. He's not believing that Stan has any piece of that flop.
How big is Michael's stack? Michael's 276,000 deep.
And there's a 5. That is no help to Michael. Not the best card for Stan, but he's sticking it all in anyways.
Stan knows he's good here. Stan knows he's good. I think Stan is hoping that Michael has a flush draw. Because, I mean, really that's the only hand you're getting value from.
This is,
I mean, you're either getting called by a 9 or a 6.
He's going to take it
God
out.
forbid. I mean, that would be terrible. But,
all right, nice job, Stan, scooping a pot, getting some much-needed chips here at this final table.
Jeez, Christopherson. His name is so long.
I know, it almost goes right into how many blinds he has.
Going back to Drake, though, I mean, good player, and he really knows how to value hunt. He plays the tournaments, and I've actually talked to him about it. Like, he doesn't want to play tournaments that are 10K deep or 10K buy-ins. He actually legitimately picks out the tournaments that he wants to play that are less than 2,000, and just
seems like tournament selection is a big part of his game.
The same thing as table selection in general, all the time. But yeah, he has been fortunate to, he's been successful. He's been fortunate to pick the right tournaments. I mean, he's a good player. Very good player.
Maybe it's time for him to write a book.
I'll read it. Because I'm not doing any better.
One book sold right now. That's all you need.
I'm not doing any better than him in tournaments, so yeah.
We gotta start. All right, looks like Christopherson is all in with pocket 10s, and it looks like maybe enough to scoop up the pot. Yeah. Wait, Victor with King Jack is thinking about gambling.
Less than 10 big blinds. It's 40. How much is Victor's stack here?
He's got 263,000 right now, and it's 47,000 more to call.
He's actually one of the big stacks at the table right now.
Yeah, he put in a call. So we're going to see a whole board here. King Jack suited versus pocket 10s. The 10s with a slight edge, and let's see what happens here. Good luck to both these guys.
2 overs versus pair. 50-50 almost.
And
kind of like
looking
it.
for some clubs.
Boom! Oh, we missed.
Miss. The 10 still out in the front. Turn coming, and we get a
Boom!
Whoa. Another queen.
Oh, that's another queen.
This is it.
That's
Last card.
I was like, face card, that's good.
Coming out
for King Jack. Oh.
10.
10.
Chris hits
that was
set.
unnecessary.
He stays alive.
But the river was unnecessary, though. This is like good hand, though. The good hand, Kristoffersson.
Well, you gotta keep the adrenaline pumping a little bit, you know.
Yeah. that flop wasn't really an adrenaline pumping flop for Kristoffersson, though.
Right, so Kristoffersson is going to stay alive, now sitting on about 151,000. We have a changing of the guards here. Brandon coming in to deal some cards.
Uh-oh.
Is this your killer? This is the guy that kills you?
Brandon's a killer.
All right, so this should be
Brandon's cool. Brandon's good.
I know. So Chris is in the chat room. He says no boom, and I was waiting for the boom.
Is that Chris? Are you kidding me, Chris?
Yeah, that's Are You Kidding Me?
Chris, man. He told me to Snapchat the message. He said guaranteed he's gonna make the final table tonight. He said screenshot it. So I screenshotted it. I could show you guys.
Uncomfortable.
I don't even know where my phone is, but I could show you guys. Bro, you didn't make the final table, but honorary mentions to Chris H.
What's the honorary mention?
You almost made the final table, but you didn't.
I have a feeling Chris is going to be on the stream next week talking about Kyle. All right, where's our action right now? We round to Casey, Art, Sean going away.
Drake.
And it looks like George has opened up here. It says call on there, but that looks like more than 8,000. I think George has probably bumped it up to maybe 18, maybe 20. Whatever it was enough to take it down. George scoops this pot and now is prepared for the big blind.
Still nine-handed here. First place is almost 11,000. That's pretty good for just 126 entries. Buy-in was $350, so obviously if I played, I would have been here at the final table, but you know, I did the right thing and I wanted to be here in the booth with you guys tonight, so I'm commentating instead. But $11,000. That's a good ROI for a $350 buy-in.
Well, not everyone's in for $350. Some people bought in 5 times.
As I would probably have bought in for 5 or 6
These
times.
guys that are used to playing a $1,600 buy-in, it's easy to just come to this tournament, buy in 5 times, and you feel, like you're playing that level.
So it's like you're playing for second place to get even, but guilty. That's usually me.
That's why we needed Kyle to play today so we could hit our guarantee. Missed the guarantee by 3 points.
I didn't play the tournament, but I lost $1,000 in the 1-3 game tonight because I just got coolered a bunch of times.
That's no problem because you can go right back over to the dark side, blackjack, and get it back. Hey, check out this hand we have. Michael and George, ace, and queen, and San is holding one of Michael's queens with the queen jack. Looks like San tried to limp in here. Michael raised it up to 40. Looks like 42,000.
George, what are we gonna do here?
He has to raise.
He's
the big
deep.
stack.
Yeah.
471,000 chips.
Small blind versus big blind, though. I might just call here, to be honest.
Really?
I might just call here. I mean, ooh, it's crazy because San. Yeah, San's in the bot too. Yeah, I might just call here.
So it looks like it went heads up, and we get 5-5 king. This could save Michael some chips.
So
having an overcard.
I think San just called, or I think George just called.
I think you're right. George is way out in front here with his pocket aces.
But from Michael's perspective, this is a pretty dry flop. I mean, it hits ace king.
Let me ask you this though. In this situation with queens, don't you think most of the time you're going up against something like ace king? Doesn't this flop scare you with queens a little?
You know, it's a weird dynamic, but when it's small blind versus big blind, it just changes everything.
Oh no. Michael sticks all his chips in. George snap calls. He doesn't even wait. His money's in there. And now we have a turn and a river, 2 cards to come. And as you can see there from the screen, Michael's 8%. He can only hit 1 of 2 remaining queens to win.
Good luck, Michael. Good luck, Michael. You're not gonna get there.
Ouch! There's the turn card. It's a 3 of spade. No help. 5%. 2 cards possible that can help.
Boom.
And George's safe.
House.
Pocket ace.
Full house. So
that's a huge pot. 430.
yeah, it probably goes. Well, the king does mess up the action, but yeah, full house for full house. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Well, it was a great game played by Michael. He came in at the beginning of the tournament, been grinding all day. He's not going home empty-handed. You can see down at the bottom of the screen there, our prize pool is scrolling. 9th place takes home $991. So a little bit of money in his pocket, and hopefully, I'm assuming, I'm just guessing, he had a great time.
Yeah, and you know that's ultimately a cooler small blind versus big blind, queens versus aces. Come on, man. I mean,
yes. You know what?
Yeah.
Mafia Murloc is in the chat room. Makes a great point. For some reason, our action tracker usually registers cards that are folded. He only had one out because remember, San did have the queen in his hand.
Yeah.
So there was only one card remaining.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. We do appreciate it. And
but I like how it's set up though, where it's like from the player's perspective, the player doesn't know that the queen was it was the queen's, right? That the queen was folded from another player. So I mean, from the player's perspective, I mean, but ultimately it's small blind versus big blind.
I've said like a million times I'd be the worst superhero because my power would be the ability to reverse time, but I wouldn't really help anybody. I'd just go play poker, and if I lost a hand, I'd reverse time and just make a different decision.
Okay.
That'd be the ultimate superpower for poker, right?
It would, yeah.
I'm all in. I call, I lose. Oh,
right.
Reverse time? Check. All right, looks like ace 10 versus 6-5, and ace 10 is still out in front on this board. King 8.
Hijack. Standard raise here with ace 10. Victor with the 6-5. Yeah, did Victor fold? I think Victor folded.
Drake
the problem here.
Another pot.
The problem here is that you know, they're not really deep stacked. So I think Victor could have called that if we were deeper, but this is, you know, keep in mind this is a one-day tournament, and you know, they're not 100 big blinds deep. They're not even probably 50 big blinds deep. So there's really no point in calling a draw type hand. Casey has king queen. He shoves it with 56,000. That's less than 10 big blinds, so standard. Sean Drake with 4-3 folds. King 7, Jack 8, George folds. The only person that can think about a call here is Terry from the big blind, who already has the big blind in, but he's gonna fold. So nice pickup for Casey. Good pickup. Good pickup. I mean, blinds are huge right now. Andes are huge right now. Casey is the short stack too, so
by the way, I just want to let you know, if you talk right into the microphone, you sound like the movie voice guy. You know what I'm talking about?
So should I not talk straight into
Well, I was just saying you could just talk out naturally. If you get right up into the microphone, it's
am I hella loud?
It's like you probably are. You probably are to the viewers, but you know, it's like one time in the early 20th century, a young man and his dog ventured into the wilderness. That type of thing, right? You don't do that to them. Don't. You just lost like half our viewers.
Oh, dang.
All right, guys, we got a hand shaping up here from the button. It looks like Victor's coming in with ace-5 and 16,000 to go. Terry with ace-queen, either gonna call or put in a little. Looks like he's reaching for raising chips, going up to 44, I believe I saw go in there. 44.
Yeah, it's nobody else has anything playable, so it's
And here's something that
It's a
happens.
fold.
I know you watched the stream before, so you kind of know this, and you've played on it a few times. Even our Survivor series you played on, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
So the first hour of the stream, and you're under the lights, and it's this different environment, and you know, people, they're afraid to look stupid, to make a dumb play. But then after a while, they get comfortable and they stop thinking about the cameras and all that, and they just play their game. So the first hour, we usually see the players pretty tight, and then it'll start to loosen up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get that when you're there and you're like worried about making a bad play or looking dumb?
It does run through my it runs through my mind, 100% for sure. And anytime I'm in a tough spot where I'm like, oh, should I make this call or should I make this big bet? Yeah, it runs through my mind. It's so sick because it's like, dang it, why?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about this. If you make a stupid play, it's going to be on the internet forever.
And then not just forever, but the possibility of someone else doing a review on it, like one of those training sites. It's just like, oh my god.
Are you speaking of Crush Live Poker?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Crush Live Poker does use footage from our site for their training. But Bart's pretty nice to people on there.
I heard he did a good review on my one of my hands.
That's impossible.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it was like, it was good.
You don't have a subscription to Crush Live? You should get one. It's actually a great
Of course
site.
I do. Of course I do.
Okay,
Of course I do. I love Bart.
Who doesn't love Bart? He's going to be out here end of January. We have a couple games with him.
Good. Sean Drake raises to 22,000. Pretty standard here. He is under the gun, but you know, this is a tournament. You got to go for those antes.
Every chip is so precious in a tournament.
And Drake's fully capable of playing out of position. He is probably the most experienced tournament player at this table. Actually, I take that back. He definitely is the most experienced tournament player at this final table. So he can play out of position. I don't have a problem with him opening under the gun with that hand. I would probably do the same thing. Just make everyone else feel uncomfortable. That's kind of the goal.
I think that you're right there. Sean is very good at polarizing people's ranges, but not only that, he's good at spotting weakness.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of it.
And I mean, if he gets a bad flop, he can fold. He knows how to fold. So
that's something I need to learn. I get emotionally attached to hands sometimes.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like
bad.
I haven't seen a nice hand in 2 hours, and I pick up pocket aces, and no matter what happens, I'm like, I'll just die with this. I'll die with these cards. I'll just let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go peacefully.
Yeah.
All right, Ace 3 versus Ace 4, and miss for both. Backdoor clubs for Victor. The four I was going to say slightly in the lead, but the percentages on the board are favoring Victor. Explain that to me. Just because of the club?
So Victor opened, right, with Ace 3?
Yeah, but I mean the percentages for how the hands stack up on this flop. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Terry bet it and takes it down.
Terry doesn't have.
I think it's the clubs.
Yeah,
because neither one has really a straight draw.
That is a very unique.
But usually in those situations, those rag aces, typically they're going to chop.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it depends on who bets.
Yeah, aggression. Aggression is always
C-bet
key.
Probably wins there. It's a pretty dry flop. If I was the opener on that flop, I probably lead.
Yep.
And you know, probably get a fold from my opponent.
All right, actions on George with King Queen. I believe he is under the gun. Yep, there it is. UTG by his name, under the gun, King Queen. I like this hand, but from the under the gun position, it can be a little scary knowing that if you don't raise enough to get the people behind you out, you will be playing the hand out of position.
Yeah, I don't know anything about George, so.
I did want to point out something here. All of the players in this game, where their names are listed, first name only, except for Sean, because apparently Sean gets his full name in there. That's what comes with being a poker celebrity.
Yeah.
If it was you, we couldn't do that though, because your name's too long. There's too many letters. Look.
They know me as Cali Kid.
Yeah, Cali
anyways.
Kid. You know, I was looking for you as Cali Kid on Twitter, but you're in there as Kyle.
Yeah.
You're just
True story. One of the guys, I think he finished 11th or 12th in this tournament. Sonny. Do you know Sonny? Asian guy.
Oh, you really narrowed it down. Good job.
I walked.
Well, yeah, that only narrowed it down to half the room.
So like three weeks ago, I walked into another poker room in Sacramento, and he's like, "Kyle, have a seat." Blah 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 blah. You know, I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And I sit down, and he's like, "You're Kyle Kitagawa, right?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, this guy knows my last name too." Like, yeah, nice to meet you. He just follows me on like social media or something.
You never met him before?
No, I never met him.
That's kind of cool.
But he's a super cool guy.
Nice.
Super cool guy. His name's Sonny, and I was hoping that he would make the final table tonight so I could give him a shout out. But hey, Sonny, if you're watching him right now, shout out.
Nice shout out.
No, he's a totally cool guy. I mean, yeah.
Zarantos in the chat room. Hey, let me answer your question for you real quick. This is our end of the month 350 buy-in, 40K guarantee. It happens once a month, usually the last Sunday of every month, but we did it the second to last Sunday because the last Sunday of this month was on Christmas, and Kyle said he wouldn't come in on Christmas, so we changed it for him.
Yeah. For me.
It looks like Sam's going all in here with Ace Queen suited.
I like it.
There was already a raise from Victor with Ace 10. George is going to let it go. Victor's going to peek at his cards again, and back around to Terry with pocket threes.
Yeah, it's a good shove.
Is it worth Terry to call pocket threes another 122,000?
I wouldn't risk my whole tournament life on it. When you're just flipping here. I mean, worst case you're flipping, right? I mean, you can't put your opponent on pocket twos.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's only 122.
If I was a good tournament player, I'd be sitting over there, not here.
Yeah, no, that's too much for Terry. It's too much for Terry. He has to fold here.
Terry's thinking about it though. San has been pretty active. We see the head shake. Body language says no.
Yeah. I mean, it's like him showing the cards. It's almost like he's like, yeah, I know I have the best hand, but I can't flip, bro. Comma, bro.
You know we're in California now.
Yeah, bro.
Hella California.
Hella. Hella NorCal. Bro.
I thought you were gonna go, brah. What's up, brah?
That's Hawaii. That's
Hawaii.
That's Hawaii.
I can't keep up with the kids, the spring lingo and the slang talk.
Yeah.
All right, coming towards the end of this level, a minute 30 left of the 4,000, 8,000 level. We are taking a quick 5-minute break after this.
Commercial.
And, yeah, we have some custom commercials we create, little interviews with poker players and stuff like that. So don't go anywhere after this hand. We're not leaving. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the exciting conclusion. And right now we do have a hand shaping up. Let's see, we've got Terry raising 25,000 with Jack 10. Victor's been laying down a lot of hands. I have a feeling he wants to play. He's tired of getting pushed around. He wants to see a flop. And here we go. 10 Jack, King Queen, and Victor hits his king. He
dry
checks.
flop. It's a dry flop.
Terry checks.
Terry,
10. That's gonna string Terry along now. So not a bad check. Being results oriented, I understand, but not a bad check.
I mean, it was a dry flop. If you're gonna seat bet, I would definitely seat bet on a dry flop like that. But now that he hits 10, it went check on the flop. So for sure, I would bet Terry. And Victor is gonna, yeah.
I like this play.
Standard. I mean.
He checks the flop with his king, he hits top pair. He bets the turn, gets raised by Terry, and then shoves all in. This puts Terry in a very tough spot.
It does, but I think he's going to find a fold here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I don't see him calling here.
Yeah.
There it is. Terry shows them and says, no, thank you.
They love showing the second best hand.
Yeah, you're not supposed to show the cards, right?
They love showing
You give away too much information when you show cards.
Like, don't do that at a final table.
All right, guys.
If you're watching at home, don't do that.
We are on a quick break. You can see the timers right there. About 4 minutes, 40 seconds left. It's a short break. So we're going to cut away, and we have some quick content to show you. And we're going to be right back. We're not going anywhere. You shouldn't either. 4.5 minutes. Bye. All right, go away. No, don't go away.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Stones Live Poker Hand of the Week. We're going to take a look here at an incredible 5-5 hand. Now, Matty here from Under the Gun +2, he's open to 30 with ace-3 of clubs. He's going to get called in several spots, but we're going to take a look here over at Mike's hand in the small blind. He's got 8-7 of clubs, and he flops a pair and a flush draw, but as you can see, Matty flops the nut flush draw here as well. Now, it's going to get checked over to Matty, and he is going to bet big. And I actually like the play here by Mike. Some people might check raise right away, play it as a semi-bluff, but when a guy is betting 125 into 4 people, it really does look like you don't have fold equity. He usually has an overpair. So Mike is just going to check call to hit his hand. Everyone else folds, boom, the turn's the 5 of clubs, and now they both make flushes. I also like this play here by Mike. He's not going to check where he'll allow it to get checked back. He's going to come out and lead right away for 200. But of course, Matty, another play I'm a big fan of, he's going to raise right away. He is not going to slow play it, and he bumps it up here to 575. As you can see, these guys are pretty deep for a 5-5 game. Mike thinks about it for a while, and then he finally makes the call, and he is drawing at only 1 out. He needs the 6 of clubs for the straight flush, and it comes here, and you can see Jake and Justin go nuts up at the top right. Mike's going to double check his cards, and he's going to make what I think is kind of a peculiar bet here. It ended up working out for him. He moves all in. Matty makes the quick call, and you can see a 2-card nut flush loses to a 2-card straight flush. Incredible hand. I think Mike was a little bit lucky that Matty actually had the ace-high flush. You can check out Stones Live Poker every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time over at twitch.tv/Stones Live Poker.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with 8 players remaining for the Stones Live 40K guarantee final table for our last Sunday. I'm doing that because it's not the last Sunday. Last Sunday would have been Christmas. No good to have a tournament on Christmas, 40K guaranteed. Be like a $20,000 overlay. Justin has to find a new job.
I'm down for the overlay.
Yeah, these guys want the overlay. So heading back to the table, guys, we got a new hand coming out, and the blinds are up 5,000 and 10,000, still with a 1,000 ante.
I didn't even know we lost a player. Dang,
You don't remember Michael?
Oh yeah, sorry, Michael. Sorry, Michael. You did good. You did good.
Are you drunk or what?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
That's fair.
So, funny story about drunkenness. Friday night, I went out and drank with some friends. Saturday morning, I woke up and half my tooth was missing. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you probably heard the whole story. Kyle K_poker is my Twitter. But this tooth right here, you can't even tell, right? You can't even tell.
Looks like any other tooth.
Yeah, no, I woke up, my tooth was gone. It was gone, bro.
That's how you know you had a good night of drinking, when you wake up and your tooth
It was
is
not
gone.
a good night when your tooth is gone. But hangover aside, you know, first I had to get Uber from my home to downtown to find my car. Once I found my car and went back home, then I had to find a dentist that was open on Saturday. And by the way, my dental insurance was not open on Saturdays on a weekend, obviously. So no dental company or office could verify that I'm actually, you know, dental insured or whatever.
So it turns out he ended up going to a veterinarian to get his tooth fixed. Now you have a dog tooth, right?
Yeah, but it was legit. It was legit.
All right, we got a heads-up matchup here between Sean Drake and George. Both have hit cards, but it looks like George is way out in front. The river comes, give George the check mark. And let's see if George can extract some chips from Sean here.
It went check on the turn, so Drake might actually think he's good here.
It looks like Drake is sizing up a bet.
I would check here and just like hope it's
Drake
good,
bet.
but,
He's not taking your advice.
Yeah, nah, that's cool. Drake doesn't take my advice. Drake wins tournaments. He doesn't take my advice. Drake wins.
All right, so we have I look like about 40. Drake's gonna take the pot down. Nice job. Drake makes the bet at the right time and gets the best hand to lay down.
That's how he wins tournaments. I just clapped for him. Wow.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, but it was just like brilliant. It was brilliant. It was just like worth a clap. But anyways, I had to find a dental office that was open on a Saturday to fix my tooth because my dentist is closed on weekends and he's not even in the Sacramento area.
A lazy dentist.
I found Cheng Vong. Cheng Vong, shouting you out right now. You're probably not watching this, but Cheng Vong, awesome dentist. They stayed 2 hours after their office was supposed to close to fix my tooth. They did a root canal and they put a cap on this tooth.
So by the way, it's our first time plugging a dentist on Stones Live Poker.
But the funny thing is that if I couldn't find that dentist, eventually, I probably would have found C8.
Dr. Art.
Dr. Art, Dr. Tanimoto. He's a dentist. And you know, the funny thing is that he said he's only open about 8 Saturdays a year, and yesterday he was open.
He could have fixed your tooth right at the table.
Well, fortunately I didn't need that because this other doctor was really good and he fixed it. But
all right, 3 ways to a flop here, guys. Terry, Jack 3, Christofferson, Queen 7. Hold that thought. Let's see what these guys are gonna do.
Second pair, not really exciting. Oh, they both make bottom pair on the turn.
George and Terry both hit their threes. There's 3 clubs on the board, and Terry also has the only club.
Yeah.
I always like to check out with the percentages and how they change when a player has a big draw like this. And you can see Terry with 31%. Terry lets it go, and the club comes.
But she folded. I think she got rid of her hand. Or Terry, he.
No more drinks for Kyle. All right, so George Rivers, a second pair. Had Terry stayed in there, he would have a jack high flush. Yeah, Rick and Barstow, that might be a good call. You got pain meds? You're on pain meds, aren't you?
Yeah, no.
There it is. There it is.
I like the value bet.
Share. You got to share. If you have pain meds, you have to share. That's the rule. Tell them, guys, that's the Stones Live rule.
I like the value bet though on the river. 2 pair.
That's crazy. So George picks up 2 pair on the river card, and Terry would have picked up the club had he stuck around. Why does Terry fold there?
I mean, he had bottom pair though, and 2 other players are in the plot. You know, it's like whatever.
All right, new hand shaping up for you guys here.
Come on, Art, pick up a hand. Oh, did he just?
Rooting for dentist tonight.
Did he
It's
just?
the dentist
I'm
type
rooting
of
for
evening.
Art because if I break another tooth and the dentist that just fixed my tooth can't fix it, Art's the man.
Art is the man. There's no doubt about it. Victor wakes up with pocket tens, makes it 25,000 to go.
Art Tanimoto, Doctor Art Tanimoto. My bad. We got some action here.
Christofferson
Cut
with
off.
ace jack. He's
Versus
going all in.
small blind,
Well,
yeah.
I hope he said all in,
Standard,
because that's a
standard.
string raise. Looks like they're gonna let it slide. Unless if he said all in, he's fine. But
I'm
if
sure
that
he
was
said
just
it.
motion,
Yeah.
that last yellow chip technically shouldn't be in there. But
it's-
I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Assuming, like, we're just watching it on the screen, so I'm assuming he said all in. And it's pretty standard here against the cutoff.
I think Victor has to call
raise.
here. I mean, you
Victor
don't.
has- yeah,
you
Victor's-
don't come
Victor's
to
not
this
folding.
table to fold these types of hands in these situations.
Victor's not folding. He's one of the, I think he's second or third in chips right now. He's not folding.
Victor's got 195,000 behind.
Christofferson's 3-bet range here is huge. Especially against a cutoff or a button raise.
There's the call.
Yeah. So.
All right, we're going to see a showdown here. Ace Jack versus 10-10. And the 10s with a slight advantage here. Let's see what happens.
Boom! It's a 10.
That scared me. All right, there's your flop.
Safe.
No
safe.
help
That
for
is like-
anyone.
that's an all-star flop for
Yeah, that's a
Victor.
great flop for 10s. Okay,
Oh.
5 on the turn, 1
He
card
loves
left.
his life right now until the river hits. Oh, he loves it.
No
so
boom
he
moment.
loves
10s
it.
hold up.
Yeah.
Christofferson playing a great game here at this last Sunday final table, 40K tournament. He gets 8th place out of 126 total players and going home with $1,388, or in other words, enough to buy approximately 47 beers.
47. You actually did the math.
I just guessed. Am I close?
I think it's more than 47. I mean,
See how close I was.
$47. I mean that
Was
that,
it $5
that would be
a
like
beer?
$30 a beer.
$5 a beer?
That would be like $30 a beer, man.
I just
no,
took a
wait,
shot,
wait. Am
man.
I not doing this
Get off
right?
my nuts,
I think I'm
jeez.
doing it. I'm not,
277 beers he can buy. Better?
can he buy me one? Can he buy me one?
Yeah, but you gotta drink it out there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
chug it. Can you do a keg stand and then come back?
Cake stands at Stones. We're doing cake stands at
New
Stones,
promo, Keg
guys.
stands at Stones. All right, we're
Bust
filled
out of the
around.
tournament, do a cake stand on the house.
And let's see if we can get some poker played on this hand. Looks like Casey's jamming. Casey picks up King 5. He's suited. It folds around. Art with 8-3. He can't double down, so he's gonna fold.
I like the jam here by Casey in the small blind, and when everyone folds, King suited
Casey's
is
trying to ladder
pretty
up
much the
here.
nuts.
He's short
You're
on
just
chips.
Yeah, you're
you
just-
know, King 5 suited is a beautiful thing.
trying to steal the big blind and the blinds.
And
I
Art's
mean,
been playing
I would
relatively
jam with a much wider range than just King High there. I would, 7-6 suited. I would
Yeah.
just jam it there. You're just trying to steal it.
All right, back to the action, starting with San this time. Let's take a look at his hand, see what he has. Get those cards on the reader there.
I like how he
And
mixes it up first before he looks.
as you can see, we got the names next to the payouts down there, and Christofferson's takes up pretty much the entire screen. That's a big name. All right, we got a raise from San. Looks like 35,000. We're around to Terry.
Victor
And
folds,
Casey,
Terry
Art
folds.
picked up a playable hand. Let's see. He's not going to be an aggressor there. I hope Sean
Did
meant to
Art
fold
fold?
because he let it go.
Okay.
Looks like it looked like Sean Drake's cards just got scooped up by the dealer there on one of those. 'Cause that seat is very easy to lose your hand to an accident.
Yeah, I
card
know.
grab, but
I always put a chip on it, or
Sometimes
flop
that
my
doesn't
hand
even- that
over
doesn't
it.
even
Yeah.
help, so.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it's true. I'm actually surprised Art just folded there. God, what a nit. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay because you're a dentist, and I'm a big fan of
He's
dentists
a dental
right
knit.
now.
That's a good kind of knit. All right. New action here. I'm uncomfortable. Okay, let's see what's shaping up here. Terry looks like he's grabbing for chips, and that would be because he has 8-6 suited, of course. Casey with King Queen. Casey really wants to play here, but Terry has raised to 35. What do you do with King Queen? With a raise of 35,000 in front of you.
Either flat it or raise it.
But Casey only has 58,000.
Jam it. I didn't notice that part, but I would definitely.
Jam.
I would jam. I would love
especially
jam.
on toast.
Yeah. Jam's good on toast, and you know.
Behind him with pocket
when
sixes.
you come to this. Yeah, but make Art make that decision, you know.
Casey's letting it go. Art's gonna let it go. We're around to drip. He's not playing. Sam with pocket nines. I'm pretty sure we'll see a call here.
Yeah, we'll see a call. We'll see a call. No, we'll see a jam. I mean, no, wait, 203. Okay, actually, they both have chips, so
maybe just flat.
I would 3-bet. No, I would 3-bet here. I would probably bet it to about 100K. And if he jams, then I'm probably gonna call it.
Sam thinking this one through.
Like I just hate flatting here.
Terry raises from the
and then you get
hijack.
like a flop that has like king queen or ace king or ace jack on it, and then you just have to fold. So I'd rather take the lead here, put the pressure on Terry. You do have a pair here.
Sam's gonna let it go.
Sam, you're the best.
Wow.
You're the best.
A good raise from Terry. 6-8 suited. He pops it to 35,000 pre-flop. Only 25,000 on top of the blinds, and Sam lays down pocket nines.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is a pretty crazy play. It worked for Terry, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the tournament, chips matter somewhat. So
I have to be honest with you. I'm rooting for George.
You're rooting for
I am. I'm rooting for George in seat
Okay.
3. I love that George took down the tournament last night. He was a massive chip leader, just like this. He's a great guy. Recreational player. He's in here all the time.
Good.
And I like to see our Rex go on nice
I agree.
hot runs. You know.
I 100% agree. Like the Rex need to
and he
win.
also said that he'd buy me a cocktail if he won. So.
Well,
Is he buying me one too?
I'll let you take a sip off of mine. Okay.
okay. Oh, all right. Is that safe?
It's safe enough.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I got my throat spray here, so it's.
Oh, what the heck? Guys, he actually has throat spray here.
Professional. All right, 6-8, ace jack. We're squaring off, and it looks like Drake picked it up.
Art is down to 5 big blinds here. I really would like to see him just make a stand here. Like, he just needs to make a stand.
All right, guys, we are getting a changing of the guards. Our lovely dealer Gen C coming in to sling some cards and get us some action hands going. We'll give a quick shout out to the dealers at Stones, and I'm sure Cali Kid will agree with me. Stones has some of the best dealers in the industry, and it is just so nice when you can sit down at a table and you don't have to worry about dealers doing stupid things. You can just focus on playing your game. Would you not say that Stones definitely has some of the best dealers? And I mean,
Yeah,
dealers don't get recognized enough, because the thing is,
100%.
when they're doing their job right, they're invisible. No one notices them until they screw up.
Stones is awesome. I walk in here and they're like, "Hey Kyle, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're cool." No, seriously, you guys.
Art went all in, by the way. Your boy Art. He
Yes,
all in with pocket
yes,
10.
yes,
And it looks like Victor's
yes.
considering calling with ace 5.
Call him, Victor. Call him and double him up.
He's gonna let it go.
right,
Art
let's go.
scoops a little
Let's go.
pot here. And now with 7 players, 1,000 ante, every pot has 22,000 in it before anyone puts a chip in.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So,
That's a big
I mean,
game.
scooping
That's a
a
big
pot
game.
right now, it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, please continue to win pots.
Guy has mad love
because
for dentistry right now.
I do because
And he's not sharing his drugs. That's the messed up part. We're in here co-commentators, and you're hogging all the good stuff. Just kidding.
True story. I actually have 2 fake teeth. The front upper tooth right here, I busted that one about 12 or 13 years ago when I was in college in like 2003 or 2004. I hit the ground and my tooth just knocked out.
But the dentist fixed it.
We love dentist. This is gonna go down in history in Stones Live as the dentist show.
Yeah, this is the dentist show.
We now interrupt this dentist story for a poker hand. All right, let's get to the game. 7 players remaining, battling it out for the big money, and let's see if anybody's got cards. We're putting some chips in this pot.
I like the Jack 9. Sand in the cutoff, or who's on Drake folds. Sand in the cutoff with 9-6. He might actually put in a raise here. Nope, he folds. On the button, George. Yeah, kind of standard. Everyone folds to you, so. Wait, did Victor just call with. Okay, Victor call with King? It's suited. It's suited. It's suited.
Yeah, it's suited.
Alright.
There's your flop. 10, 6, 7. George does hit his 7. And Terry with the inside straight draw.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting flop.
Did Victor just fold without a bet to him?
No, did he really? He might have.
Oh, no, there was a bet. Okay,
it's pretty
15K bet.
He really didn't have anything.
We're heads up. 3 of spade comes out on the turn, and George is going to put some chips in. I don't see Terry coming along here. I mean, he's pretty much drawn to an 8 for all he knows. And George is going to scoop another pot. As you can see there, the chips are displayed. George, a massive chip leader with almost 700,000. Sean Drake, the closest behind in chips. Half the chips, 350,000. But as we know, it's a tournament. Things can turn in a moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't even ask me about how my tournament run has been lately.
Probably as good as mine.
Yeah, maybe, huh? Oh, Sean Drake with the 7 deuce, but it's the tournament.
Yeah,
so
they're not playing 7 deuce.
I like Terry's hand, 9-8 in a small blind, so that's actually a good 3-bet hand if someone were to raise. Maybe Victor might open here. Victor has to open with Ace-6. Yeah, he does. He does. So Terry, how much is Terry playing behind?
If you look right
198K.
there, yeah.
Is that a call? It's just a call. I mean, you're not deep. Oh my God, you're not deep enough, Terry, to just call with 9-8 suited. But good job, you just flopped a flush. What do I know? What do I know? I mean, Terry just flopped the flush. I think he went check. Casey, what are you doing?
Well, I think Casey hit a club on the turn. He might be thinking he has the only club, maybe? No,
so he checked.
No, that's a spade. I'm sorry.
He checked. Wait, or did he check? I'm so confused.
Terry bet. He's going to take it down on the turn, flopping a flush. That's how you do it right there.
Nice flop, Terry. I wish I could flop. Like, man, that was a good flop.
Flop envy.
Flop envy. You know, I played cash games tonight. I played 1-3 no limit. I should have just played a 2-5, but I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like
1-3 plays like a 2-5.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm just gonna hang out and play a little bit. I don't want to get too stuck before I get into the booth. I lost $1,000 playing 1-3. Well,
that's no big deal.
But listen to this. I rivered 3 of a kind twice. Both times lost to a straight. I turned Broadway twice. River was an ace, which paired the board, and I lost the ace-king for a full house twice. And then I lost king-queen versus ace-queen on like a queen-high board.
We have a question for you in the chat room, but before we get to it, we're going to wrap up the action here. We're going to get to you guys in the chat. They want to know something about it. Okay, there we go. So, Sac01 Kings fan wants to know, Kyle, do you consider yourself a better tournament or cash player?
Cash game player for sure. Oh, cash game player for sure. I mean, to be honest, I've always... Am I too loud?
You're pretty loud. So you're a cash game player?
I'm a cash game player, and, I've always considered myself a cash game player. My hand in mob, you can look it up. I don't even think I have 40,000 in career earnings, although that's kind of wrong because
they've missed a couple of my bigger scores.
Well, not every room reports the caches to Hendon Mob.
Yeah, but still though, you know, I had some success online playing tournaments, but I'm more of a cash game player, and that's really where my bread and butter is. It's just less variance and.
Okay, so it looks like we have all in from Casey, and it looks like Art with Ace Queen immediately calls. Sean Drake's gonna let 10-5 go, and now we have Ace Queen versus Ace 6. Casey making a move, seeing a naked ace. He wants to go. Art actually wakes up with a decent ace. So here we go. Art is on the hook for his tournament life here, though. It looks. Oh no, Casey's the shorter stack. Casey's at risk. He's basically looking for.
Come on, Art. Come on, Art. Put a 10 out there. That's good. That's good.
That's it. So Art knocks Casey out. Casey getting 7th place here. Stones Live, 40K guaranteed last Sunday. Final table. 7th place taking home $1,784. Not a bad day.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, so
good job, Art.
For you, for you from the chat room, Sacco One Kings fan also wants to know, how do you transition from tournament to cash?
You know, it's a tough one. I haven't figured it out.
Oh, I mean, there you go.
If I figured it out, I'd be at the final table of every tournament.
As much as Sean. As much as Sean, right?
Yeah. No, Sean kills it.
Yeah.
Ask Sean that question.
Right. Because he plays both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think he's more of a tournament player. I rarely see him in cash games.
He played a couple of the Stones Live, like the bigger games, the 5-10, and I think he sat in the 10-25 once. Looks like George is raised up to 25,000 with Ace Jack, and it's folded all the way back around to Sean, who is going to let it go. And now San with Deuce 3, I don't see him doing much here.
Only person I can see playing this hand is Art. Oh, but he folds. Nitty fold. It pays off to be a nit sometimes. Good job, Art. Man, I'm really rooting for Art right now.
Kyle, you're
a dentist.
You're getting lots of love in the chat room. Spenny Free would like to know if you could take your tooth out and show it to us.
No, I can't, because they put in a temporary cap on it right here. Is this tooth right here, guys?
Can you show them right up there? Go right into the camera.
It's that tooth right there. It's the canine.
Can you guys see?
The canine. They put it right there.
That's because he went to a veterinarian instead of a dentist.
You know, it's a temporary fix, and they're gonna put the permanent one in 2 weeks.
Okay, we got it. We got another question too, but we got a hand.
We got a multitask. I should have asked them to just put a gold cap there for the temporary one, but whatever.
All right, let's do this hand, and then we'll get to the next question. Okay? No cheating. I want it to be off the cuff. No looking in advance.
I'm not looking.
All right. So let's call the action here.
Pretty
Round
boring
to Sean.
hand here.
Sean might do something. King 8 on the button. It's been folded around to him.
He should. He will.
He should and he will. There you go. You heard it here first. We're not seeing George's hand, but he does have a hand.
Okay, San calls.
It's not over the reader. He checks. So George has a hand. We're not sure what his cards are just yet. Queen 10-3 misses the two players. We know their cards.
That's a pretty wet flop. It does hit a lot of ranges, but when you're playing button versus blind,
and wet is good, right? Wet's good.
It depends, you know. If you're in a multi-way pot, wet is bad if you don't hit it.
No truer words have ever been spoken.
But when you're like,
okay, so George is stacking up a bet here. We don't know his cards. They are face down.
3. He hit the 3. He hit 3.
You think? Oh yeah, 3. Deuce 3.
Okay. All right.
And 9 comes up on the turn. George still in the lead, but Sean has bet him off the best hand before. Let's see what happens here.
Sean bets, checks again, or George checks again. This is
it is. Split screen for the
Sean
win.
Has to bet it again.
So George is checked. Sean's putting out a bet.
Yeah, he's got a gutter.
Sean taking down another one.
It's just a wet flop.
Okay,
you know?
so this is perfect because George had the Deuce 3, and you have a question in the chat room from WildChild916. They want to know the secret to how Kyle plays Deuce 3 short stack in tournaments. Go.
Deuce 3 short stack in tournaments.
What's the secret?
Like the cards Deuce 3?
That's just how the question's
I
right
wouldn't
there.
play Deuce 3 in a tournament short stack, that's for sure.
They seem like they know what they're talking about here. Kyle, I want to know the secret to how you play Deuce 3 short stack in tournaments.
I wouldn't play it at all, ever, ever. Not
there you go. That's the secret. Don't play it.
And
even if I'm deep stacked in turn, I probably wouldn't play that hand. It's just not profitable.
Not profitable. Okay, guys, we got a hand. Let's see what's going to happen. Terry is putting some chips in with 3-3. And as we see, Terry is not afraid to mix it up with just about any hand. 6-8, remember, he made a big raise pre-flop 6-8.
You know, if you're going to play a pocket pair in a tournament, you got to raise. I see too many people just limping with it, hoping to semi, but you're never deep enough in tournaments unless you're like really, really early in the tournament. And even that is like, it just seems to me like such a weak play. I think that everyone, if you have a pocket pair, if you're gonna play it, you should open for it. That's just my point of view. But you know, I'm not.
Okay, we got an all-in play here. Ace King.
I'm just a cash game player.
Ace King pocket threes ended up all-in pre-flop. Right. So
I like it.
Terry at risk here with his threes and ace flops big.
Yeah. Rest in peace,
wow. Terry looking for one of the remaining threes.
Game over.
He can still hit a three, can't he?
No. I mean, he could, but he's
now he can't. $2,379 for Terry for his 6th place finish. We now have 5 players remaining.
How much was it?
23 something.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I just said it, but once the words leave my mouth, like they're out of my memory. Yeah.
I mean, we say it so fast, you know, and it's like.
And good.
Yeah.
So 6th place, right there. $2,379. Do you want me to figure out how many beers that is?
Yeah, please. Because if he's a nice guy, he might buy us a beer.
That's 50. Oh wait, it's 2. That's 475 beers.
Oh my God, he could totally buy us a beer.
Not counting tip.
That wouldn't even hurt him at all.
Yo, Teach Yo, welcome to the chat room. One of our regulars. We appreciate you being here. Kyle Kitagawa, everyone.
Hi.
This is his audition, so let's take a vote. Let's have the chat room vote on whether or not you get hired.
Whoa!
1 to hire Kyle, 2 to fire him. 1 to hire, 2 to fire. Go. All right. New hand coming out.
Oh my God.
Nothing yet, so you're safe.
George has pocket 6 on this hand. It is on sand though. Queen 9 is definitely a hand that you can open with on the cutoff. On the button though, with the stack, with a big stack like that, I think George actually should 3-bet here.
Fired and rehired at a lower wage.
Love it.
Awesome, you guys rock. Love our chat room.
All right, and sand folds. Yeah, good play by George there.
5 players remain. 12 minutes left in this level. 5,000, 10,000 blinds with a 1,000 ante. Guys in the chat room, it's simple. 1 and 2. 1, 2, not 3, 4, not 1 and 2, not 1.5. Okay, but
what is the 1.5?
I think that's like right in between because 1 was higher, 2's fire. Right now, you got more 2's than 1's.
Kyle, in a tournament, how do you play with a super aggro player to your left?
Was Chris sitting to your left?
No, but Chris didn't even make the final table either. But honorable mentions to Chris.
Ouch, town. Population,
Yeah, that sucks when you have a tough player to your left. I mean, man, I was on the bubble of the Millionaire Maker a couple years ago.
Okay.
I had this tough European guy. He was crazy, but he was hitting cards too. He was just like, oh my God, it was a headache. How do I play against him?
All in. That's how I
mean, that does take away their flop, turn, and river play. But I don't know, Chris.
Sack01 Kingspan says he would like you to stick to poker strategy like Jake. But that being said, I think the dentistry stories have been very entertaining personally.
Well, I am trying to talk strategy here. We're talking about a player to your left that is very tough in a tournament. That's actually a very good question because that situation does come up quite often, and you know, it's gross.
Can you cover for me while I try to think of a good answer?
I'm just laughing at the chat room because they're typing the most ridiculous
what did
questions
they say?
for you. They want to know if pooping your pants is positive EV. Is there a story I should know? Have you?
You know, I talked to a dealer.
He has a story for this.
I talked to a dealer at the World Series. It was a couple years ago at one of the, I don't know, it was like the Millionaire Maker, the Monster Stackers. Oh, whoa! Sorry.
He's out of control, guys.
Sorry.
What can I do?
Sorry. You guys didn't see that. I was in a tournament at the World Series, and fortunately, I was seated at the table closest to the restroom. And and so I was like, oh, good thing I'm close to the restroom. But the dealer, she was like, oh yeah, seriously, you don't have no idea how bad it gets. There are literally players every single year that, can I say the S word on that?
First of all, first rule of being in here, if you have to ask someone if you can say something, the answer is probably no.
They poo. They poo in their pants, or they pee in their pants before the break. And that's not a lie. The dealer said that happens every single year.
I think you get a penalty for that, though.
I don't know, but it's usually an old guy, so it's like they might feel bad for giving the penalty.
Your
but
penalty is being old.
Every year.
You already have your penalty.
I'm just like, oh man, that sucks. Good thing I'm next to the bathroom, because the lines are crazy too. The lines.
Not in the women's restroom. I just go to the women's restroom. There's never a line there.
Sometimes it's a blessing when you're seated at a table that's out on the outskirts, like next to a restaurant at the Rio, and not in the main room, because the line is you got first access. And my advice is always to go to the high limit room, because there's never really a line there either. Well, next year there's probably gonna be a line there, because I just
here on Stones Live
mentioned it, but.
All right, we're full around to Sean with Queen 10. I think he just called there from the cutoff, and San with Ace King is going to move all in. And we're back around to Sean with a decision to make if he can call 174,000, almost half his stack, with Queen 10 suited, and I don't see this play coming from Sean.
This is not happening. Not happening.
Good play by San, though. Puts the decision to Drake.
I mean, it's just standard from Sean and San, because, I mean, Sean has to open this hand.
Drake takes a second look at his Queen 10 suited, lets it go.
That's just why poker sucks sometimes. Like, you really don't have it, like, you don't have a choice, It's sometimes it's just standard, like, Sean had to, it was standard. Sean had to open there. Especially five-handed. Queen 10 suited is an amazing hand to open with. But Sean is a smart player, especially with these stack sizes right now. I think Sean is going to win this tournament. If I had to put money on it.
I'm going for George still.
George.
I mean, I love all these guys are awesome. You know what? These guys are the five remaining players. They're regulars. They're in here grinding these tournaments all the time. San's a beast. He plays almost every Saturday here. Always does really well.
Yeah.
Sean, as you know, very accomplished. George is a great guy. Art comes in for our bigger events. Like these guys all deserve a win here.
Yeah.
There's Victor. Even Victor actually just. I'm sure I've met him before, but officially introduced myself and everything tonight. Seemed like a really nice guy. I know he's been playing in here a little more frequently. And this is anybody's game, but I believe George sitting on about 1 million in chips right now. So George, you know what? You want to say what you want, but he's a recreational player, whatever, but he's dominating. And he did the same thing yesterday. And you know what? He wouldn't shop. He's like, I'm here to play. I want to play. And I love that. So, people get upset when someone won't shop and like, oh, come on, we're all here. We deserve the money, blah, 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 blah.
I never get upset.
I love it when they play. I mean,
I do too.
It's a game. Who cares about the money?
I do too.
Let's play. Let's see who wins. It's a competitive spirit. And how often do you get a chance to play the final
That's
part?
why.
That's why it's
awesome. Yeah.
Four-handed, three-handed. You should be playing in this spot.
Yeah. No, that's why.
You know what they say? They say, it's not even a real tournament anymore. The blinds are so big, it's not even poker. Yes, it is poker. That's what happens. The blinds get big, and then you knock a couple people out, and then you're back to normal. Like, the pressure from the blinds going up is what makes a tournament.
Yeah.
Play.
No,
That's my rant for the night.
I
I'm
remember.
out.
Ow!
All right.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
All right, we got a hand. Victor and George going to the flop. Ace 3,
Oh,
King
this is a
Queen.
good flop. This is a good flop.
Interesting one.
Diamond draw and a straight draw, and Victor flops top set.
Wow, this is gonna be
did I
action.
say top set? Top pair.
We knew
top
what
pair.
you meant. We knew what you meant.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good action hand here.
7 on the turn. That's kind of dry. Action is on George now, and he's gonna bet it again. It looks like about 30,000. Victor has only about 200K.
No go for George. No go.
That's a good river.
Wow, George picking up his cards like he's going to fold already. He really has nothing to call with, but he's stacking up chips.
I mean, the only way he can win this hand now is with a bet. He knows that when
He just calls. That's it. He
knows when Victor calls the turn, he's behind. The only way he could win is with a bet, but unfortunately, Victor picked up the 2 pair on the river and has to call there.
So Sacco One Kings fan in the chat room is asking about the new Stones Gear and online store. Here's the thing. We didn't mention that on the stream yet. You must know somebody because that's actually in progress.
I don't even know what that's
we're a couple
about.
months out, so we're going to be launching a Stones Live online store, and we're creating some gear to sell on there and stuff. So you must have the in, and now you have forced an official announcement. But we are excited to be working on it. And we're going to have some cool Stones Live gear for sale on our website.
Is it gonna have my face on it because I'm like here right now?
No, we actually want to sell it.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so we got a new hand shaping up. We're back around to Victor, Jack 6. He's gonna let it go, and over to Art with 10-6. Art stuck it all in
Art's
with 10-6.
on the button here.
Okay.
You know, he's getting kind of short. I think he has to make a play here.
He might get it through. Sand with 7-4.
He jams. And it's gonna work out. I mean, 10-6 is not the best hand, but it's a tournament, you know? You just gotta make
This
a
is
play.
crazy though. Like, okay, look, in the chat room, they're saying, like, oh, George is a whale. That's why poker's crazy, because guys like him can come in. But you know what? Say what you want. This is the second night in a row George has come in and crushed a tournament like this. He's got to be doing something right, okay? Because luck is random, okay? It comes and it goes. But George is consistently crushing these tournaments. Look at all those chips in front of him. He can't even see over them.
Hey, and if he was a whale and he wins 2 tournaments in a row, that's good for everyone else, right?
That's whale-rific. Is that a word? Whale-rific?
Whale-rific just became a word.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
All right, Art's going
let's look
in
it up
again.
right now. Wikipedia that.
Use Urban Dictionary. We use Urban Dictionary on the stream. Looks like we're back
all
around to
in.
George and
Standard.
Art picks up another pot. Good
Just
job.
another good one, dude. Good one. So we're 5-handed here now. Opening ranges are definitely going to be a lot lighter than they would if it was, you know, like a 9-handed or 10-handed game. 5s are definitely within that range. Art stack, he definitely has to raise here. What are you laughing at?
I love the chat room. They're always there.
The chat room's awesome.
So we're supposed to be here to entertain the viewers, but when I'm in here, I feel like they're always entertaining me instead. They're very funny. Always cracking jokes and apparently.
Etherd. What is Etherd? Someone's talking about Etherd. Holy Justin is the savage. A whale is in comparison to the fish he's gaining. A whale is in comparison. Okay.
It's a Dr. Seuss rhyme, so.
Okay.
All right, Victor and San. Okay, we're back around to the blinds. Victor and George. So the reason why we're not always being able to read George's cards because he's not putting them over the reader. There we go. Dealer just checked in with them. Get his cards over. We got Jack 7 versus 10-3, and here comes the flop. We're in the last couple seconds of this level, and our blinds are going to be going up. George checks back at his cards, and it looked like he's grabbing for chips. No, it went check, check. We get a turn card. Still misses everybody. And there's your river. It's a jack. George does hit his jack, and let's see if he wants to put some chips in now.
So the pot size is about 25,000 right now. You know, you're just going for thin value here, I think. I mean, maybe 12,000.
It's just like I hope he announced 20 because he took two motions.
He bet 20. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too much.
George scooping yet another pot.
I think you could have got a little bit more value though on that river.
No spoilers,
actually,
sir.
Never
We're
mind.
still 20
Never mind.
minutes in
Victor
the
had
past.
nothing. Victor had nothing.
Good job, though.
But let's assume Victor had something. I think George could have maybe value bet a little bit thinner there. But whatever, you know. So the average stack is about 30,000, 37,000, 38,000. If you guys are wondering,
We are now 6 and 12,000, 2,000 ante. So every pot now with 28,000 in the pot before anyone does anything.
And the average stack is about 30 big blinds deep. So keep that in mind as we continue to play here. Looks like Sean Drake in seat 9 is going to make the call under the gun for 10,000.
Jack 10, one of my favorite hands.
Is that right? How can he make the call for 10,000 if it? Oh, never mind. He raised to 20,000.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we had one more hand left at the 10,000 level. Yeah, because there's only 5,000 antes. So it looks like we're playing one last hand, 5 and 10,000. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And the next hand we will go up to 6 and 12,000.
So Drakey makes the min raise to 20K then. In that case, back to the blinds. Victor has. I mean, he had a callable hand, but whatever.
I'm curious for everyone that's watching right now in our chat room, who played this? Who was here playing this earlier and you're now watching? Let us know if you were here playing, and more importantly, what hand did you bust out on?
Oh man,
I want to know.
That is such a burn to ask
That's not that big of a burn. It's pure curiosity. And then who's just checking out, who's watching a friend. If you're watching just because of one of your friend or family members playing for, even if they're not here anymore, tell us who you're rooting for. We want to know.
So everyone gets dealt pretty dry hands here. Drake in the big blind with ace-4. Art in the small blind with a playable hand, queen-8 if it doesn't get raised to him. Let's see if Victor does anything. No, he doesn't. And it looks like Drake's just gonna go to walk here. I would have liked to see Art make a play there.
Queen 8, right? But Drake would have probably called.
He probably would have, but I mean, Queen 8 and you got 9 big blinds. You gotta make a move, man. He probably would have gotten called, but you can't be results oriented. I mean,
why not?
Art does not know what Drake has. Drake doesn't know what Art has. I'm talking too loud.
Yeah, get away from that microphone.
My bad. Let's just
look. These are good microphones. You don't have to kiss them. First of all, we don't want your mouth on it. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. 5 players remaining. The blinds are up now to 6 and 12,000, 2,000 ante. And there's Yo Ticho in the chat room, says that Sean took her chips. What hand did you go out on, Yo Ticho?
Danielle. Why did you give Drake your chips? Come on.
Because she knew if she's gonna give them to anyone, he'll put them to good use.
I'm giving her a hard time. Danielle's cool. I love her. She's cool.
Has she ever busted you out of a tournament?
No. That's why I like her.
Ouch.
I was like, I don't think I've ever busted her either. So.
All right, Drake with ace-5, San with ace-3, and George with ace-king, and it looks like Jake 24K to, sorry, Sean 24K to call after George raised it up to 30, and it looks like he's stacking up a raise from the small blind. There it is.
Boom, Drake-a-likey-likey. Everyone's got an ace here.
All right, so San elects to let it go. Sean Drake, ace-5 suited. George on the monster stack with ace-king.
And he has the most chips here. He's the big chip leader.
George goes all in. He's not even going to screw around at this point. He just says all of them. And Sean immediately lets it go. Sean giving a little bit of aggression there, but once George pushes back, Sean can't go with ace-5 for his tournament life.
I don't know if I like that raise there by Drake. I mean, I see why he did it, but...
Floats with air.
I don't know George
OOP,
well.
out of position. Got it. Okay,
George
cool name.
Seems like
by the way, I agree with you. Good play by Sean. Bad timing. It just.
I like it.
It's a good play.
No, definitely a good play by Sean. But I just don't like playing. You know how certain players that, like George right now, for example,
like
with
I don't
all the
know him.
chips.
He's just like a dude.
Just a dude.
Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to make plays against him right now because it seems like he's opening with legit hands. We'll see.
George is crushing. You would say, oh, he's just lucky. He's a whale. It's gonna turn any moment. He keeps.
I'm not saying he's a
pots.
whale yet, but he is.
No, I've said the chat room is saying he's a whale. They've said it like multiple times. George is killing the table. What do you want?
So far.
You want to? What's he doing wrong? Nothing.
But like his opening range seems to be tighter than like Drake's would be. So for Drake to 3-bet him, I don't know.
George and Victor squaring off here, King 3 and Ace 9, and Victor hits his ace on the turn. However, George is betting out.
George is gonna get there. He's gonna get there.
No, he just has a 3.
He get a straight though?
No, Victor's good. Let's see if George wants to take a stab. He checks. It's back over to Victor. See if Victor can extract any value out of this hand.
Did it go check? Oh, it went check.
It did. Would you bet there? Ace 9. I think I might have tried to make a value
where
bet
it shows like the play-by-play?
I'm not sure why that wasn't up there that time. There's your chips, guys. George is given a few back. Victor is now in second place, and Drake with 267,000. It's been a while since we lost a player. We should lose a player soon.
I thought we lost a player
Well, we've lost a few, but we've had 5 for a while now.
Oh, okay. Man, you just like losing players.
I love losing players.
Tournament directors loves losing players.
That's how you go home.
That's how you go home. Yeah, no one has anything right now. Buttons, probably not even gonna raise this one. Victor, 9-4 suited. Or actually George, it's on George. I don't even know what he's gonna do with 10-6. Maybe call?
Raising Cane, that's Daryl in the chat room, says that he gave his chips to San. He believes it was the right play by Sean. I agree. George is very aggressive. So the way Sean played was right, but when George comes back like that, like it's for Sean's tournament life. You can't. If he had a better hand than Ace 5, maybe.
So George picks
Daryl, thank you for joining us, buddy.
Draw. Yes, both players play the board here, so if anyone bets, they're gonna win it. But let's see how George plays this. He's been somewhat aggressive.
He's been super aggressive.
It's only 34,000 in the pot. It looks like he overbet it. So this is actually a good bet by George. It's super polarizing. There's only about 34,000 in the pot, and he bets more than that. He bets 40,000. So he could either have the nuts here, he could have Ace King here, or he has nothing. But
special delivery. Here's a message just arrived. George scoops another pot. Keep talking crap. George is crushing this tournament.
I mean, that's a good bet by George. But the only thing is that when it goes check on the flop and the turn, I think is that like what's his name? Does he really, Victor really have a hand that he can call? That's the only problem. But I mean, considering it's a kind of a small pot to begin with, you might as well go for max value there. It was a pretty wet board.
No argument here, yeah. No argument here.
It was a pretty wet board. I mean, you could have like 2 pair or 3 of a kind or a straight.
Yeah. And wet is good, so. All right, looks like Art's.
Oh, come on, Art. Come on, Art.
I thought.
Did he win? Oh,
I
he
think
won.
so, yeah. Art's going for it there.
Oh, it was a walk. It was a walk. Okay, it was a walk. It was a walk. Good job, Art. Good job. Really, really favoring dentists right now because look at the smile. If you guys don't know the story, if you didn't catch it earlier, just follow my Twitter, Kyle K_poker.
You can figure it out. You can figure it out. Basically, long story short, woke up Saturday morning with half my tooth missing, but
at least it was only half.
I know, yeah.
All right, these guys are really at this point, like every step up the ladder is a pretty significant amount of money. So this is where it gets really intense. Every play is so important. Every chip is so valuable.
Victor raising it up. Standard with ace queen. Drake actually has a good 3-betting hand here. Wait, how deep are they again?
Drake has 249,000. Victor's betting ace queen with a 370,000 stack. Looks like Drake's gonna just come along, try and see a flop here. Heads up action. Not a great flop for Drake. Victor hits his ace, only 1 heart. Running cards needed for flushes and straights for Drake.
Yeah.
He checks, Victor bets. I think we're gonna see the end of it here.
Yeah, if we had more chips though, then I think Drake could definitely 3-bet with that 7-5, or just call it. But you know, given the current stacks and situations, I think 7-5 is definitely a playable hand. See a flop from the button for sure, right? Because the button's raising with everything.
I mean, when you're 5-handed, the power of all the starting hands is so greatly increased, and you're taking blinds and antes so rapidly. Like you have to open your range up, and so this is where nitty players really start to get damaged.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're folding around. Art's out of there. Small and big blinds only.
Sam
now,
has a monster.
I know if Drake makes a move here, he's gonna get a quick answer back.
See, if Art was a little bit more aggressive, he probably would have made a move there, and then Sam would be like licking his chops right now. But
I think Drake's gonna make a move here.
Drake will definitely make a move.
Drake bumping it up a little, and he's. I mean, here's the thing. In this situation now, when Sam raises, if he elects to raise, you know, Drake's been getting pushback from every player, and I know he's disciplined, but he might. Oh, Sam goes on a sneaky line and just flat calls with pocket
I like
kings.
it here against a player like Drake.
Worst flop that Sam could hope to see here, because if Drake decides to play aggressively, he could actually get Sam off of these kings. With that ace is such a scary card for kings.
It is, but small blind versus big blind, 5-handed, like you're still way ahead if the small blind's
Drake's
opening
gonna bet
range
it.
here. And
Drake's
Drake,
betting.
well, Drake flopped equity. He actually flopped a pair here.
Just a call from Sam.
Ooh.
Oh my God! That is a sick card. Trip 5s for Sean Drake on the turn, and Sam is in big trouble.
After Sam calls his C-bet on the flop, Drake has to C-bet here for value. I would bet
Drake
big.
checked. He checks the 5. Sam bets out.
Drake, what are you doing, man?
Sam's playing right into this trap. I think Drake knows some tendencies here, and he's trying to exploit Sam. So Sam bets 30,000. Drake processing now, and what a great spot for Drake. 8-5. He comes in, makes a raise pre-flop. Sam trying to get tricky with pocket kings, and Drake gets lucky on the turn, hits trip 5s. Sam has bet out now after a check from Sean, and Sean's sizing up his raise amount, or just he's all in. He went all in. Tough decision for Sam. Now the only saving grace here maybe is he could put Drake on that ace. I don't think he's putting him on a 5.
That's crazy.
Let's see what Sam decides to do here.
It's crazy.
The right decision here is to fold, but man, the way this hand is played out,
I think Sam has to fold. He can't beat the ace, he can't beat the 5.
This is why you don't slow play big pairs like this. This is exactly why you don't want to do that.
I mean, in this given situation though, small line versus big line when you're 5-handed.
He's trying to get tricky and it backfired on him.
Yeah, it did. It did backfire on him, but I actually don't really have a problem with how Sam played the hand pre-flop. The ace definitely screws things up a little bit, but do you put your opponent on a 5?
No, but maybe the ace. I mean, you could put your opponent on an ace, and that's what I'm saying.
Wait,
you get the same result
Sean,
if you put your opponent on an ace. Sean never has aces.
No, I mean that, but like he's raising with such a wide range. Like he's obviously raising with 5-8 here, so yeah, it's actually a really tough decision for San here.
I know, but I hope he makes the right decision.
But coming back to it, what hands is Drake bluffing on here?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Drake has no bluffing range here.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
he's either got a 5 or an ace. But I mean, it's easy for us to say we're sitting here and we can see all the cards. We know what they have. For San, this is a tough call. Like unless he can convince himself that Sean has an ace, San's about to lose all his chips.
I think San has to fold here.
San does not look like he believes Drake. Sorry.
San has to fold here. There's no other way. He has to fold.
Oh, he's checking out the clock. Let's see where the blinds are, what the payouts are. He's going to take his time to make this decision properly.
I think this would be a really bad call if San calls it.
You see the split screen there? We get reactions from both players. Sean sitting very still, making sure not to give any body language away, and as a seasoned poker player, he's good at
he
that.
made the call.
San makes the call.
Wow.
Rough time for San. I totally understand the situation he was in there. You get attached to hands like that, especially at this point in the tournament. He's like, if Sean doesn't have an ace, if Sean doesn't have a 5, he knows he's good. But unfortunately for San, Sean is in there with 8-5, hitting trips. And that is the danger of slow playing a big pocket pair. So 4 players remaining, everyone moving up in the money. San played a great game here, 126 players. I believe he only bought in 1 time.
That's good.
So he's going out, the Stones 40K guaranteed, 5th place, taking home a whopping $2,775. Great game, San. Good job. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next one.
Not bad, not bad.
4 players left, and we're halfway through this level, 6 and 12,000.
So we are down to 4 players, and I just want to point out the differences in the pay jumps right now.
They're huge.
Yeah, they are pretty big. First place is pretty much $11,000. Second place is $6,700. Third place is $4,700. Fourth place is $3,500. So the
Art's all in.
Go Art. Yeah, standard cutoff.
Rooting for the dentist.
Rooting for the dentist right now. Dentist saved me.
What are these cards out here? Is that Victor and he folded and it's not scooped up yet? Is that what's going on?
I can't even tell right now.
I think Victor's hand is folded and it just hasn't been grabbed by the dealer yet. Let's see if he looks over to the left and pull that in. Okay, yeah, he's got them both. All right, so Art survives yet another all-in. Queen, Jack, shove. A good spot for a shove there, I think. There's your chip counts. George still with close to $1 million. Victor and then Sean. Art playing the short stack pretty well tonight.
Yeah, no. He's a pretty tight player. So I think the other players at the table are going to consider that.
Art's all in again.
To advantage, or, you know.
Jack 10 this time. And here's the thing, the more lively a player gets here, the wider the range of the players behind him are going to be. So I think eventually we're going to see a call here. Let's see Victor with Jack 5. He's going to let it go. Art gets another one through, and he needs to keep doing this from that short stack. And there's your chip counts, guys. You see Victor and Sean neck and neck. Art sitting on 129,000. George just under $1 million in chips with almost 1.9 million in play. George has half the chips in play between 4 players.
I mean, if I was George right now, I'd be, you know, kind of sitting tight right now.
Aren't you supposed to like try to dominate the table?
Yeah,
from
but at the same time, like look at the other stacks.
I mean, you got Art on the short stack.
Art is super short right now. That increases your equity if someone else busts him.
I'm really interested to see how Art plays four-handed because I mean he's played very, very tight so far. His image is super nitty, and you know, four-handed, that's a good spot to really pick up the aggression, to be honest, especially if your image is tight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, everyone, even the tight players, are playing aggressive because now you're taking a blind every 3 and 4 hands, right? Yeah. Welcome for anyone just joining. These are the final 4 players of the Stones Live last Sunday 40K guaranteed final table. We got George, Victor, Art, and Sean Drake duking it out for the top prize of $10,905 plus a free entry to the January 40K guarantee tournament. George letting it go. We're around to Victor with 6 deuce, and Art sitting on the small blind with King Jack. I would expect another all-in.
Yeah.
There it is. Art, that's the way Art's playing right now, and he's going to scoop another pot.
I mean, I think Art's picked up the last 3 hands, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how much is that?
All in.
That's 8,000 in antes each hand. So that's blinds are at 6,000, 12,000. So yeah, it's 24,000. Thank you. 24,000. I mean, Art has literally picked up about 60K. I don't know where the blinds are at. So he's picked up about 60K though in 3 hands. That's huge.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely, he's picking the right spots and he's getting all of his shoves through. He's got a big enough stack that it's not just no big deal to call him and lose.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, George, but Sean and Victor, it's 25% of their stack right now if they call him and lose.
Let's see what he does here, though. King 8 is definitely a shuffleable hand, four-handed, with his stack size. Drake's got King Jack in the small blind. Did the big blind already? Wait, where's the big blind at?
George is the big blind. He still doesn't have his hand on the reader,
okay.
So.
All right, so I guess
there we go.
Folded. I guess Art folded.
Sean Drake raises to 27K. George looks like he just calls, and we're going heads up to this flop. There it is, Ace-9-3. George does hit a 3. However, we've seen this scenario a few times tonight where George flops ahead, but Sean's aggression is taking pots from George. And Sean's really the only one that seems to be exploiting this.
Yeah. I think Sean definitely understands the dynamics of the game.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Even though this is a super flushed out board with 3 diamonds.
And there it is. There you go.
Without the diamond, it's pretty dry. I mean,
another hand taken from George by Sean, and Sean is definitely in the zone on exploiting these spots against George. Yeah. All right, new hand shaping up here. About 17 minutes left in this level.
It's interesting to see how this final table will play out four-handed. The reason why I'm thinking is because I think Sean is definitely better, much superior post-flop play. And as these 4 players get shorter and shorter as far as stack size goes, it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to that.
Definitely. Okay, so we got Queen 7, and there's George again. George, get your cards on the reader.
He probably has Queen 7 also.
He's just not used to it.
It's a boring hand. Alright, so George has the best hand, obviously.
Might not be obvious to him. He's going to double check. George needs to be told like every time they'll put it on the reader. It's hard to remember sometimes. You're just used to putting your cards wherever on this table. It's RFID antennas in the cards and an RFID reader underneath the diamond in front of the player. So they actually have to stick the cards right on top of that reader for us to be able to see their hand. George is raising with King 8.
All right, I like it. I kind of like it.
Or did Sean? Oh, Sean raised. George is just calling.
Yeah, he called.
24. George is just calling. I apologize. Sean has raised with Queen 7. Oh, George, 3 bets to 60K.
Yeah.
We're caught up now.
I kind of like it. I
believe Victor folded his hand, and we're back around to Sean. Now, maybe George is caught on to Sean being so good at outplaying him post-flop. Maybe we're going to see some change from George to start playing heavier pre-flop. Now, this is what happened. Sorry, I think I almost got you. This is... I'm talking so fast, spit's flying out, so be careful. You're getting rained on.
I'm getting rained on.
Phil Ivey at the final table of the main event. Was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't remember exactly when. All the players at the table knew that Phil Ivey was such a good post-flop player that they actually would actually make these huge overbets pre-flop to avoid going to the flop, and it was a successful strategy. I think maybe this is what we're seeing from George here.
I literally was just about to say the exact same thing.
That's because I read your mind.
How do you even know that?
Poker's my life. What are you talking about? Of course I know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, wow, I mean, damn, what am I supposed to say now?
You know what? We'll edit that out. You tell the story. Go.
Well, from my understanding is that, the players at the table, they knew that Phil Ivey was superior playing post-flop, and that, their goal was to make him pay more pre-flop.
Right.
And make the bad pre-flop decisions or pre-flop calls, like by over-betting and stuff like that. And that's how they would make up for his superior
Do you think
play.
George is thinking that way? Because, I mean, to 3-bet with King 8 offsuit, you think there's any of that going on here? He knows Sean's crushing him on flops.
Maybe, but I think that what he's thinking is that, I think he knows that Drake is opening with a wide range of hands. King high, four-handed is actually not that bad of a hand.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're gonna play it out of position, you might as well raise it.
Okay, so we got action, 2 pair for Victor. Sean has Queen 10. Victor has the check mark on the river. Let's see if he can extract any value from Sean here. Looks like Victor has put out a bet of 30,000, it looked like. Our graphics have not caught up just yet. Let's see if Sean thinks it's worth calling with a pair of 10s, ace and a king on the board. I don't see Sean calling here. Yeah, he's gonna let it go.
I went check on that flop and the turn from what our graphics show. I think Victor definitely maybe lost some value there. I would definitely bet. See, here's the thing. When you get a flop that's wet, like King 10, where there's 2 face, or 10's not really a face card, but you know what I mean. I mean, it kind of hits the Broadway range. Whenever you get a flop like that, it's kind of wet. There's a good chance your opponent hits something, so if you hit it hard, I like betting big there.
Yeah.
And getting value for it. So, not much happened there. Art picks up a small pot. Good for him. He definitely needs it.
Art is just like surviving.
Yeah,
he's doing such a good job.
Surviving.
Yeah.
You know how much the root canal and the cap cost for my tooth? It's like $2,470. So I'm sure Art's doing fine, whether or not he wins or loses this tournament.
Yeah, Art's here for fun, that's for sure.
But it would be a very nice payday. So we can't see George's cards. Small blind versus big blind. Drake obviously playing his Jack-9. It's definitely a floppable hand. Checks it. It's kind of a wet board.
George is thinking about making a bet here, it looks like. Or did he check it? Never mind. Never mind, he checked it. He bet the turn though. And hands over. Nice.
George
nice
scooping another pot.
Yep. Sack01 Kings fan says, Kyle, what's the biggest cash game pot you've won and where at?
Good question.
Probably about a $7,000 or $8,000 pot, and it was at the Bellagio. Kyle, flat collar. Kyle is a limit player. Yes, I am a limit player, but I actually have not played a lot of limit at all this year. There's just not a lot of limit player. I mean, it's not a lot of limit hold'em in my area where I currently live at. So
All right, we got a new
I have to play a lot of no limit.
It's a round 2. Sean with Queen 8. Art goes away, and Sean is just going to call on the button with Queen 8. We're over to George with Ace 8 on the small blind. And looks like we got a little raise. 36,000.
Drakey, what's she gonna do now? He has to fold. Wait. Was there a 3-bet? Did Drake limp? Or he's confused? What just happened?
All right, lucky chips coming in. Boom. Just like that.
Can't forget my man Kyle, dude.
Kyle. Damn, we got lucky chips
Oh, I
just
got
for
lucky
sitting here.
chip.
Thank you, Tori. That's Tori, one of our dealers. Looks like he's having a good night in the cash
One of
game.
the dealers.
Boom.
Boom.
Stone's lucky chip.
Winning tomorrow.
All right, Sean with Queen 8 gets an answer back from George, and I think George is doing what we were talking about. He's keeping the aggression up pre-flop now because he sees that Sean is out playing him post-flop. Pretty sweet move on George's end, right? And it's working. Two times he's done it now, and Sean has laid it down.
Crazy, huh? Because the crazy part about that is that when the pots he has so inflated pre-flop, and then you scoop it on the flop. It's like, sweet. Are you kidding me? What happened in the Stones 8-16 game? I don't know, man. Sacramento just... the limit game does not thrive in Sacramento for whatever reason. We tried it and it didn't work.
We do have an 8-16 Omaha high-low running tomorrow.
Yeah.
One name left on the board, so if you want to call in, if you can be here at 6 tomorrow, you can play in that. Victor wakes up with pocket aces in the small blind.
Let's see how American Airlines does. I heard they weren't doing too well.
Yeah, but Art with 10 deuce in the big blind. If Victor does anything other than just call, he's not getting anything, and he likes to just call. Let's see if Art's willing to make a move here. 10 deuce. It was an instant check, and there's a flop. Nothing for Art, and Victor's checking, getting tricky with his aces. And there's an ace on the river.
Wow.
I don't see Art doing much here. Victor hits his ace and
Victor
now elects to bet.
Victor has to bet. I mean,
and that's it. Yeah.
He can't afford to
Nothing he could do there.
Twice. Yeah, it's just unfortunate timing. That's the problem sometimes when you're playing four-handed. Is like you wake up with a monster hand and there's fewer other players.
Look at George's chips just growing and growing and growing. 1.1 million, and even in the chat room, he's becoming the favorite. See everybody just waiting for George to ship this thing. All right, still 4 ways. The final 4 players, 100 out of 126 here. New hand shaping up. Drake is the first to act. I think he let it go instantly because it looks like we're back over to George already with Queen 9 suited.
Under the gun, four-handed, that's actually a pretty playable hand, especially with George's stack. I would maybe even consider opening here. Did he open? It looks like George just limped and then Drake called. So we're gonna see a flop. Boom, boom, boom. Nobody has hearts.
George with backdoor diamonds, and Drake is crushed, but here we've seen this situation a bunch of
Pretty dry
times.
flop here. Actually, you know, like that's why I kind of wish George opened with a raise pre-flop, because he could definitely take this pot down on the flop with a C-bet. Good, whatever. He doesn't need to listen to me. He's gonna take it anyways on the turn.
All right, that's Patrick Deal in there, and Patrick, you might have seen him before from our Stone Survivor series in the employee game, throwing the blue steel to the camera. Oh yeah. All right, he's setting up an action hand for us here. Let's see what we got brewing. Next player out, taking home $3,568, 10 times the buy-in. It's a pretty sweet score. At this point, no one leaving a loser.
And that's actually, yeah, it's only a third of what first place is. So these guys are playing for, you know, pretty big pay jumps. Keep that in mind here.
Flipping for thousands of dollars.
Should we flip for $1,000?
I will flip for everything in my pocket. How about that?
Nah, that's probably less than 1,000.
It's a little less, just slightly.
I already lost 1,000 today in a freaking 1-3 game.
Oh, you're just trying to get it back.
Yeah.
Blackjack is right there. Blackjack's right there.
I've never played any pick games at this casino ever.
Yes.
Just poker.
We are live, yeah.
High five. What's up?
Oh, this guy, he's all right.
My nephew.
Oh, you guys are related? How about this? Kyle's getting some love from outside the booth.
I'm glad you finally had an Asian as a commentator.
You know, it's
The best Asian too.
says he's glad we finally had an Asian as a commentator. It's affirmative action. Yeah.
Justin invited me before to make a quick candid appearance, but I refused. I said, if I'm going to go in here, I want to be off the
Don't be offended. Don't be offended. Okay.
Hey,
All right, guys, we're heads up. Victor and George. George checks. Victor hits a 7, so he's going to bet 20,000. And George double checks his cards, and I believe he's going to let it go. George, what are you doing? Why is George grabbing chips?
What happened? All right.
George is cutting out a raise.
Yeah. Wow.
He stacked up 50,000 in front of him and moves it out. George check
This
raises.
is a check raise with nothing.
Wow.
With nothing.
Okay.
And I love it.
calls.
Victor says, whatever.
9 comes out on the turn. No help to George, and George is reaching for chips to bet. I want to see George take this pot down.
Man.
George is repping the king. This guy
Wow,
knows
this
what's
is like-
up. What a play. Let's see if it works.
Wow.
Go George. I honestly, the only thing I don't like about this, I would like to see his bet be a little bigger, maybe 100,000, but it does look super value-y.
It does look super valuable, and that can make a player really wonder, like, oh, he really wants to call right now, and man, George.
George with almost twice as well. George takes it down.
Wow.
George in beast mode.
George
What a play.
Yeah, that was a good.
What a play. George reps
Totally
the king,
unconventional, wow.
gets it through. Pretty huge. George really leveraging the power of the big stack to intimidate and get people off of better hands.
Yeah.
The other thing that George is doing is he's learning how people are playing against him and adjusting to it as well. And I know we have some more experienced players at the table here, but I would say George's got a pretty strong shot at taking this thing down.
Hey, you're the one that said earlier he won the tournament yesterday.
Yeah,
So,
he's just running so hot right now.
yeah, I mean, you know, when players are playing good
And running good.
it's weird how it works out, but it tends to like last for a few days. Like Like it's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm playing well and running good at the same time, like, and I know I'm playing well. Yeah, it's a great feeling. And
Drake raises to 25,000 with ace-5 suited. I think George just calls here, which is the line he's been mostly avoiding. But now we're heads up. Sean Drake against George. So there's a flop.
George is just at this point. He's like, I got all the chips right now. I'm just
he hits his queen. He hits his queen.
And I kind of like that strategy because it just works when you're
four-handed. Turn comes out. We get a 10 of spade. No help to Sean. Sean checks. George looks like stacking up chips for another bet.
Yeah, he has to bet here.
If George bets here, that should be the end of it. I don't see Sean coming along. And there it is. George scooping another pot. A dominating stack at this final table. 1.2 million out of 1.9 million in play. The other three players scrambling for the last of the 700,000 in play.
He has 3 times second place right now.
Crazy, George. I think my horse is gonna win it. George is my horse.
George is your horse.
I called it at the beginning of the stream. Like George is playing good.
I wish I had a horse right now. I wish I had a horse.
I thought Sean was your horse.
I wish he was too, but
George picks up after all this, and George picks up pocket 10s.
But nobody else has anything. Art, make a move. Oh wait, I felt bad. Art, don't make a move right now.
6-5 suited.
I love your hand, but just don't make a move
George
right now.
is first to act with his 10s, and
he's gonna raise it and everyone's gonna fold.
Just a call.
George just calls. I love it. Oh my god, he's like running over the table right now. The deck is just like running him over. Oh man.
There it
Drake
is.
called, or Drake checked.
This
Drake
could
checked.
be danger for Drake if he plays aggressively, because if Sean takes a stab at this pot, George is not going anywhere on this board.
Yeah.
995. George is betting out 20,000. Sean might not believe him here. Sean might shove this.
He has to think he's good here. I mean,
not a shove, but it is a shove. Sean raises all in with a pair of 5s, 9s and 5s, and George has to call.
It's a call.
George calls, opens his hands. Here we go, pocket 10s, 5-3.
Good game,
Sean is drawing to the 2 remaining 5s.
Man.
It's not coming, is that what you're saying?
Good game, Sean.
Oh no. Sean, I still total respect for Sean's play here. But it's just one of those spots. George just happened to wake up with a hand. The 4 is no help. We need a 5 and a 5 only on the river. And George takes Sean out of the tournament in 4th place. $3,568 for Sean. Great game. I always love watching Sean Drake play. He really is a master of the game.
He is. He is really good. If you guys don't know him, follow him right now because he is very good.
George was getting dominated by Sean earlier in the game, post-flop, and George adjusted his strategy, switched it up, and found a way to play so that he could turn the tables, and now has knocked Sean out of the tournament in 4th place.
He really disguised his hand right there with pocket 10s by just limping under the gun too. So there's no way that Sean could put him on a better hand, really. I mean, yeah, this is bad timing for Sean, and Sean will bounce back. He's solid.
It's a great cash for Sean. $3,500. I mean, it's an extra little bonus on Hendon Mob for him. Some more zeros to his name, and we are not only three-handed, but the blinds have gone up to 8,000, 16,000, and let's talk about Art. Let's talk about Art.
Yeah.
Riding the short stack all the way up to a guaranteed 3rd place. And you want to talk about maneuvering here in a poker game. Art has really done a great job here.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude. Yeah, like he is.
Look at George's chips. They're all over the place.
He's got pocket 3s now. Look, Art's got pocket 3s. George has too many chips to get to stack right now. They should probably color him up to like
oh my goodness.
Plaques. He needs plaques right now. 25K plaques. Art, you're going all in. It's standard.
But yeah, dude, Art understands the pay jumps right now. He knew he was short stack, and I've seen this time and again. Short stacks come into final tables. They understand the pay jumps are so huge. They just knit up and play tight, and you know what? Sometimes it works, sometimes it really doesn't, but it's kind of working out for him right now. I mean,
so did we end up all in, Victor and Art?
Wow. What a flop though.
For Victor. Wow, Victor's open-ended. Art with threes. There's a king, and there's like 20 outs for Victor on the river.
This will be sick.
And that's pretty much half
for the dentist.
deck.
For the dentist.
And there it is. That's a straight. Victor hits a 9 for a straight. Art going out in third place, $4,758.
So just like that, we are down to heads-up play after 2 hands.
This is my favorite type of poker. Heads-up poker.
It should be.
Sick action. I almost never get to do this because I never make it this far in tournaments. How about you?
Me either.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to play tournaments.
What do you think about doing like a heads-up poker challenge on the stream sometime?
Dude, you should do it.
Okay. What do you guys think of the chat room?
I can't be in the booth that day unless I commentate on like the other heads-up matches because I'm definitely going to be playing it.
What do you think would be good for buying? Like 200? 300?
Yeah, 250, 300.
Have like brackets and do like 16,
brackets would be awesome.
Or something?
Yeah. Totally.
What do you guys think in the chat room? Do we have any interest out there? Heads up poker challenge on Stones Live on the live stream. Would anybody play $200-300?
Guys, it would be awesome. Just think about it for a second. Like
maybe you can help me set up like payout structures and stuff.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be yeah, no, I mean, all you need, all right, 64 players would be pushing it, but I mean, 32 players even be fun.
I mean, we're talking about in a live stream. We're probably not going to hold people's attention for 64 players.
That's true. Do you remember the one on at Caesar's Palace? What was that? It was like a 10K. It was like with the pros, 10K buy-in. Can't think of it right now. It was like the Heads Up Championship Challenge or something,
really?
But it was televised. It was fun to watch.
So these guys at home, they're probably wondering right now, why is Justin and Kyle on the big screen? Okay, so the clock's still running. I think these guys on the table, they just wanted to take a quick break. So right now, because we are streaming, we're going to continue to run the clock for as long as they want to take a break. And
I always wanted to be on the big screen, guys.
We're on the big screen. So
on the big screen.
Let's
on the big screen.
Yes. Let's talk about George and his performance so far in this tournament. Now we're heads up. George with 1.4 million in chips, and Victor sitting behind him with 500,000. George, who a lot of people in the chat room were saying, oh, he's just getting lucky, I feel like he's stepped it up and proven that it's not just luck, that George actually has a strategy here and that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you do have to be lucky to win tournaments and to get deep in tournaments.
I thought it was a skill game.
But
is it a skill game?
There is some skill involved. And maybe George has, I mean, his range is, the cards that he's playing, he's not getting out of hand. We haven't seen him make any outrageous bluffs. He has been, the deck has been working out for him. He has been making hands. He's not out of control.
What do you mean, like to where we're looking at him and what I've talked about a couple times? We've seen his game adjust. Like he's not just playing the same thing over and over. He's changing based on how the players are playing back at him, and that's pretty impressive because a lot of people are looking at George just a recreational player. But maybe he has some strategy that could be on an expert poker player level. Yeah. Maybe. What do you think?
Sometimes when you're playing against other players like Sean, who are super aggressive, you know that they're going to be betting out at you. Sometimes you just tighten up. I mean, I don't think that he's the type of player that's already going to be loose. He's probably already more on the tight side to start with. But I'm thinking that, like, I don't know, like, he's played good. He didn't make any major errors tonight, and
the cards always worked in his, they worked in his favor, and timing was also good for him. I don't know, like sometimes it just pays off to be patient, and I think he really showed patience tonight.
You got a player like George who, agreed, he's a recreational player. He clearly knows what he's doing. He's playing against a player like Sean Drake, who we know is experienced. He's played in all sorts of different fields, multiple different buy-ins, and had great success. This is not a player that has just gotten lucky a few times. Sean Drake is an accomplished player that knows what he's doing. George was able to successfully adjust his game to actually ultimately end up taking Sean out. That's impressive,
right? I hope to
right?
see George here more often. I mean, I think it's great that he's winning right now. I mean, running deep in 2 tournaments back-to-back in 2 days is going to do so much for his confidence. He's definitely going to watch the live stream tonight and definitely going to get some value out of that somehow. Whether I mean, I don't think he played anything bad. I don't think he played anything
he's
terribly
played an excellent game,
like, or ridiculously good either. But he's definitely going to learn from just like watching the hands that he played, how he played it, how the opponents responded to him.
How about an honorable mention for Art?
Art,
okay.
You definitely get
Art.
Next time I break a tooth, if the guy that didn't fix this one because he did a really good job, if he's not available, I'll hit you up, Art.
Look, Art started this table with the 3rd lowest chips. We had Christofferson with 85,000. San had 98,000. Art had 119,000. I don't think I ever saw Art at any point get above 150,000. Yet Art was able to ladder up all the way to 3rd place for a $4,758 payout. What do you think it was Art's major part of his strategy that was able to move him all the way up to 3rd place in this tournament? And he's clearly a good player too, right?
Yeah, no, he's I see him around all the time at the tournaments around Sacramento. He is definitely a legit player. He knows what he's doing. He got a lot of experience. You're
just saying nice things because he's a dentist and you might need him?
And he is a dentist, and he could potentially fix my tooth next time I break another one. But thing is that, playing tight at the final table is actually can be very profitable. The final table is where the pay jumps are the biggest. And I think Art realizes that. I mean, what did 9th place pay? I don't even know.
Like $900 and some. It's scrolling up here in a second.
And first place is is almost $11,000. Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking at a $10,000 difference on a $350 buy-in.
That's $991. $991 for 9th place. Yeah. So it's a big difference. It's like a $10,000 difference.
It is a $10,000 difference. And even at bigger tournaments right now, I'm seeing players that start the final table. The bigger stacks think that they can maneuver around and be aggressive. And, it makes sense if you are a big stack. If you're, 1st or 2nd or 3rd in chips, you probably should finish the tournament top 4, top 5. Mm-hmm. It definitely should be playing that way and putting the pressure on. But these smaller stacks, we saw it even in the main event. Gordon Veo, who's, by the way, from Northern California. Props to him.
So real quick, keep telling your story, but I'm just going to let Bob know we're ready to go back to the table. We are starting our heads-up play, and go ahead and finish up with Gordon Veo.
I was going to say, Gordon Veo played extremely tight at the final table. I don't remember what his starting stack was when the final table started, but just look at the equity that he gained. Mm-hmm. People are, I know a lot of people have been like, oh, Gordon Veo, he didn't play very well, heads up, blah, 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 blah. He just played like a nit. But would you be upset with a $4.5 million payday?
No, I would not.
Exactly. I mean, he maneuvered his stack, and at the final table, you gotta play for the win, but I don't know. Yeah. You gotta play it safe too at the same time.
So we are heads up here. George and Victor, and it looks like, I don't know if they were discussing a chop, but it looks like they have decided to play it out. Nice. So whatever deal they were thinking about, it did not come to be. George with a dominating chip lead. it's going to go down to the end here. First place, whoever gets it, taking home $10,905 plus a free entry to next month's last Sunday. And second place, still getting $6,740. It's not horrible.
It's a $4,200 difference though between second and first, so that's
pretty huge.
It's actually pretty good.
So here we go, Victor with Ace King. George, we can't see his cards at the moment. And let's see, looks like Victor's going to bump it up here. 25,000 on top. George has Jack 8. He has to keep being reminded. Like I said, it's hard to remember where to put your cards when you have to put them somewhere specific. Heads up, pretty much any hand is playable. So as you can see there, the percentages are out there. They're not too heavily skewed at this point.
George
3, 6, 8. George hits an 8. George just can't do anything wrong today, can he?
No, he's flopping everything right now, and when you're flopping everything, it's really good.
Victor bets out. George is just gonna call.
Well, I like it. Ooh.
And now the tables have turned. Victor hits an ace. However, there are 3 hearts if Victor's concerned about that.
I like the check here by Victor after George calls.
Victor's played very well.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
George is going to put out another bet, and Victor's going to see if he can't scoop up some of George's chips. Victor needs these chips really
Victor's
bad
turning
right
his
now.
hand into a bluff catcher pretty much here, and
there's a 10 on the river. Victor with the check mark.
Based on how he played on the turn, I think he's going to check call.
George went all in.
George just went all in. Wow.
It's going to be a tough call for Victor, but if he does call, he's going to get a much needed double up, and they'll be almost even in chips.
Way to utilize your chip stack advantage of a 3-to-1. Yeah, I mean, this is for $4,200.
I just heads up. I don't think Victor can lay down here. I don't think Victor can let it go.
$4,200. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either. Well, here's the thing. George's bet here is so polarizing, and Victor's gonna make the call.
Victor does call,
so
and good news for Victor.
I like that bet though by George. It's so polarized.
Very aggressive, yeah.
You either got the flush or you don't. I mean, he knows the eight's not good anymore, I think. So he just says, hey, F it, I'm going for 100% or nothing.
George definitely putting the aggression on there, and
that can actually get a weak ace.
It wasn't a snap call. It wasn't a snap call.
It wasn't.
You know, Victor had to think about it, but ultimately made the right decision here.
I mean, if Victor has like even a hand like ace 10, or no wait, well never mind, ace 10 would be 2 pair. Ace 7, ace 5 or something like that. It's like a weak ace. I don't know. It's just, George's bet there is just wow. I don't know.
Beastly, yeah. Okay, here's the thing. If Victor has anything other than ace king, if he has a weak ace, if he has, hasn't made 2 pair, hasn't made a flush, right? This is a weak ace or a smaller pocket pair, I think George's bet is successful there. But with ace king on that board, heads up, you really only concern are the hearts, which I mean are unlikely there.
You either got the hearts or you don't. That's what I'm saying. He turned his hand into a bluff of either a flush or nothing.
So there's Patrick working out the pot right now. It was a big pot, 942,000, and the pot was so big that we lost Kyle. All right, so Patrick getting all the chips square there. And interesting comment in the chat room there says that Gramps is talking chop again. I don't think he ever was. I think it was Victor talking chop. If I remember correctly from yesterday, George would not chop from the moment he got the final table. He's there to play. So first, second, third, it doesn't matter to him. He wants to see how far he can get. My guess is you're not going to see any chops come from George, even from the short stack. All right, new dealer in. Looking to wrap this up here. The Stones Live 40K guaranteed last Sunday final table. Heads up now, these are the final 2 players out of 126 entries. 3 players short of this guarantee hitting means we added close to $1,000 to this prize pool to get it right. And here we go. George and Victor battling it out for first and second place. A difference of about $4,000 between the 2. Small blind and heads up situation is always on the button. Button always acts first pre-flop. Victor was 7-6 here. We got call and King 8-8. We do not have George's cards yet. They're on the reader now 10-4. This flop misses both players. Jack on the turn helps neither player. And not sure what George said there, but whatever it was enough to get Victor out of there.
I'm back.
And here he is.
I'm back.
So I can't talk about him anymore. He's back.
What are you guys talking about?
Nothing, I'm kidding.
So the stacks are kind of even right now.
Yeah, so Victor doubled up that last hand that you saw, and George scooped the small pot. They are almost dead even in chips, so this is anybody's game all of a sudden.
I hope they don't decide to chop it.
Well, and that I was actually talking about that when you left. So George is the type of player, he doesn't care about chopping. He likes to play, he likes to see how far he can go.
Cool.
So George is going to turn down most chop situations.
Good. Yeah, we don't know much about Victor. I mean, he was kind of quiet also throughout the whole final table until we got to heads up.
The silent assassin.
Pretty much. So far, he's taken half the chips from George, so.
And this is shaping up to be a pretty exciting heads-up match. Small pots getting pushed back and forth between George and Victor. Victor scooping one up right now with pocket 8s. And you can see the chips now. These players almost dead even. George with 943,000. Victor with 942,000. They are separated by 1 black chip. 1 black chip.
That's crazy. Man.
George with ace-jack suited, Victor queen 9, and Victor will act first here.
Both playable hands heads up.
Very playable.
Definitely.
Looks like Victor's grabbing for raising chips. Cutting out about 40,000. And George with ace-jack gonna be really tough to go away. The question here is, does he just call or does he raise?
I kind of actually like I actually raise it.
It looks like a raise coming in.
Yeah.
I think that's about 80,000 from George. And so Victor says, whoa, slow down, just call. Let's see a flop. Oh, monster flop for Victor, 9-9-10. He hits this one hard, and without running cards, George is so far behind. George goes all in.
Oh,
instant call.
God,
George is in a lot of trouble here. There's the club. He has life.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
George, the club. Okay, it's a full house. It's a full house for Victor. George hits his flush, but Victor hits his queen for 9s full of queens. That is the biggest.
Oh, it's queen 9.
Actually, queen 9.
What?
Trip 9s, goes runner flush, but that last card, the queen of clubs, also gives Victor the vote.
I didn't even notice that.
And us in the big screen tells me that George did have smaller chips there. That means that this tournament has wrapped up. Victor coming in as the sleeper, taking down first
that
place.
Really happened? Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
That was a flush on the river.
Yeah.
But he had queen 9.
9-9-10. 9-9-10, and then it goes runner club to give George's club flush with the ace-jack. But the river being a queen, boats.
I didn't even catch that at first when I first
super action hands.
Did Victor even notice that when it hit? Because he like.
It took me a second to notice
he,
it.
Just was like, oh man.
I have to say that is
you realize
one of the most exciting action last hands we've had in a tournament stream. Just crazy. Ace Jack suited makes a nut flush, and Queen 9, that nut flush card for the river that made him the nut flush, also gives Victor the boat. And they were almost identical in chips.
Yeah, they were.
Victor
they were
just
even.
leading by 1,000 or
was
2.
Victor ahead by 1,000? Oh man.
Huge final table. Great action.
Wow.
Victor coming in to seal the deal.
That's so sick.
10,905.
That's how it ended. It ended like they went all on the flop and then they both got there on the river.
Pretty crazy tournament, guys. Whoa, thank you. Appreciate it. That's drinking money, Victor. Getting a little tip from the young man, and great game. All these guys really played a fantastic game. Don't you think?
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm impressed. Victor coming in from the nosebleed, shipping it last minute. George, who just, we got to see an evolution of him evolving and adjusting, and from taking first place yesterday in the 10K guarantee for like 3,000, made 3,000 yesterday, and today he makes 6,400.
Yeah.
Fantastic
I think
job.
70. Wait.
It's gonna scroll up right here.
I can't believe he just shoved on that flop though, and then he got there, but it's still not
So
good.
there you go, guys. There's the totals right there, 6,740. Guys, it has been a pleasure to be your commentator here for the Stones Live final table. My friend here, the Cali Kid, Kyle Kitagawa. I see a bright future for you here at Stones Live, Kyle. Maybe next time, less pain medication and less.
I'm not on pain medication.
Less dentistry stories.
Hey, Art's gonna be at every final table that I commentate from now on. I just have a feeling. Art, you're doing well. I'm like the it's like I don't know. It's let me get 50% of your action.
For you guys watching at home, if you haven't followed already, click the little heart. Please become a part of our family. We will be back tomorrow. Justin Squared, myself, and Justin Kelly in the booth calling the action for a sick lineup. We have a crazy lineup tomorrow. 5-5 no limit hold'em game, and we will be running an 8-16 Omaha high-low on an outer table. I'm looking at the list. There's one seat left in that. So if someone wants
in the 5-5 game?
I don't want to give it away, but you can go look on the board when we get out of the booth here. It's up there. A ton of alternates already. Should be an action wrap tomorrow at 7. Justin Caritis, Kyle Kitagawa, thank you so much for being in here with us.
Thanks for having me,
Kyle
man.
rocked it.
You guys are like Stones Live. It's been an honor to be here, and dude, you guys have come so far since when I first came here a year ago.
We're signing out, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Explain it, the way she gets into